We're good. We're good.
There we go. It's on.
Oh, nice.
All right. The so-called Negro, Latino, North American Indian people, you are the Israelites the Bible speaks of. Okay. The so-called Caucasian or white race are the Edomites, the wicked, the devil, and Satan that you find spoken of in the scriptures, the nation of the wicked. Okay? So we're going to give all praise to the Heavenly Father, whose name is Yahweh,
Ba'ashem, Yahushai.
Double honors to the elders and apostles of the nation of Israel, better known as the Greatmillstone. Shalom honors to the sincere Akim, teaching the correct doctrine, all right, in the true body and spirit of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. Okay?
Since you mentioned that Esau's wicked, this is 1 Maccabees 1:7. So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died, and his servants bare rule everyone in his place. And after his death,
his servants, when Alexander died, Alexander the Greek, we call him the Great, he divided his kingdom with the Seleucids, you know, Ptolemy, Cassander, Lysimachus. Okay, those are his four main generals. Okay, the four lands that would be divvied up. Okay.
Verse 9, 1 Maccabees 1:9. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth.
Yeah. See. So when that old serpent, the devil, the so-called white man, okay, Edom, Esau, when he got into power, okay, and they started ruling the known world at that time, okay, evils were multiplied in the earth, man. And what they had at that time was all people in subjection. Okay, they were bringing everyone into under their obedience and taxes, basically. Okay, they're bringing everyone into their bondage. Okay. All right. Hey, man. It is what it is. You know?
Proverbs 29:16. When the wicked are multiplied, transgression increaseth, but the righteous shall see their fall.
Right. The righteous are going to see the fall of the wicked, because right now transgression is being multiplied. Okay? Transgression is being multiplied. Even, you know, first and foremost with the 2/3. Okay, 2/3 of our people, 2/3 of the nation of Israel, the Negro, Latino, and North American Indian people. Okay, the majority of them are the ones that are destroying themselves further and further. But that's all because look who's in power. Okay? That's all because Edom, okay, being in power. Okay, but the righteous, the elect, they're gonna see the fall of the wicked, man. They're gonna see the fall of these transgressions. And the Edom, okay, they're wicked too, because what they did was they broke the brotherly covenant. Every time everyone would talk about coming to peace, or hey, we can all share everything, the so-called white man never wanted that peace. He always wanted to go to war. He went to war with the natives. He went to war with the indigenous of Central and South America. Okay, he constantly is going to war. Even though the people will speak of peace and sing songs of kumbaya, okay, they're always going to war. That's the white man's specialty. Is murdering people.
That's right.
Their kids always murder their parents, man. They had some kid just recently strangle his mom over his bad grades. You know? You see? For what reason?
God bless everyone at power to be. Get rid of the sickos, the dark side. Get them out. The disciples of Lucifer have fallen.
Yeah. Man, hey, look, we're soon to be a praise in the earth. You know, because that's all that, you know. I see that. You know, I don't really see an identity crisis what looks to be an Edomite woman bumping reggae music and, you know, saying whatever she's saying. What I see is these people actually desiring us to be back in power, man.
Yeah,
you know, she likes that incense more than I do. You know, really, you know, they just want to see righteousness in the earth, man. Maybe she might not even be what appeared to be an Edomite, you know. But either way, you know, that's a woman. The Most High is looking for men right now. Can you get that in Ezekiel? The sheep flocking my pasture.
34 and 33.
Yeah. Grab that real quick, and then you know, that's people will say that, look, that we're women haters, that we're anti this, that we're hate this and hate that. Look, man, the Most High hates a lot of things that are new, so-called new in this earth, that are made and upheld by the hands of men, which are wicked people, man. Wicked men are allowing this, okay? And all these other people feel they're gonna, you know, basically they feel duped. They're like, well, what do you mean? We're supposed to have all equal rights and this and that. Look, man, your leaders have failed you, man. That's why you're catching the backlash. Right?
Ezekiel 34:31. And ye, my flock, the flock of my pasture, are men, and I am your power, saith the Lord Yahweh.
You see? Look, man, you can say that there are views and that there are opinions, but the truth is that this is what the Heavenly Father has spoken of, man. Okay? It's His agenda, not ours. So we say, oh, hate, you guys hate. Look, the Lord hates first and foremost, man.
That's right.
King David said, do not I hate them, O Lord, that hate thee? I hate them with a perfect hatred. I count them mine enemy. And you know what? The truth is, man, you know, to make a long story short, it's prophecy. You know, in order for love to come into play, hate has to exist first. In order for love to come, hate has to be established first. You get in an argument or a confrontation with somebody, right? There's a hate. There's an energy of disgust, one versus the other, right? Well, after what comes after that? Peace, love. Peace comes after that, man. Okay. Yeah.
This is Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes 3:1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven.
Right. There's a time and a place for everything under the heaven. It's all been appointed from the beginning, and it's going to be made manifest, or it's going to be made known in the end to come. Okay? Because what the world, see, this is the funny thing, man. Death, we're in the season of death.
That's right.
Fall and winter. What do they call it fall? Because the leaves, the crops, things are failing, they're falling. Okay? And then it's going to be the dead, what they call the dead of winter, where nothing can grow because it's too cold and there's no water and there's no the balance for life is tilted. The sun, the water, the warmth. Okay, things can't grow properly in the winter. Okay, that's why you don't see green in the winter. Okay, you don't see the leaves. They've all fallen off before. So there's a time and a place for everything. So here it is. We're in the middle of death, but these people are all going to say, you know, peace and safety. They're all going to say peace, peace, love, love. When the world itself around you is telling you, no, look, it's time for things to die. It's time for things to die, man. That's why a lot of these people were celebrating Halloween, because that just goes back to celebrating death.
Yep.
It just goes back to celebrating dead bodies, man. Go ahead.
Verse 8, Ecclesiastes 3:8. A time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace.
Yeah, there's a time for love, but there's also a time for hate. That's what you call balance. People that ride bikes or skateboards or whatever, a car, everything's got to be balanced. You build an engine, it's got to be balanced. You got opposing sides. How do you think an elevator works? With weights and balances. Yeah, you buy your tires. What do you got to do? Get them mounted and balanced. You got to get the tires balanced. And how do they balance them? They spin them at a certain speed, usually 30 or 60 miles an hour, something like that. And then they add weights to counter that rotation of the wheel when it spins. So there's balance in everything. There's a time, when the scripture says a time for love and a time for hate. The scriptures tell you you're supposed to hate the wicked and love the good. Hate evil. Hate the evil, love the good. What does evil mean? Bad times. So when we're talking about Edom, the so-called white man coming into power, is a bad time. You know, like you go into a party or a club and everyone's having a good time, and then there's that one known ruffian who comes in like, oh shit, there goes the neighborhood, man. The party's over. Yeah. The fun's done. This guy just killed the party. What happened? The needles, the record skips, you know? You're like, oh shit, man. Here we go. And everyone, you know, starts leaving, man. So look, there's a time for hate, there's a time and a time for love. And right now is the time that we're in for hate to be more rampant in the world.
This is Amos 5:15. Hate the evil and love the good.
Hate the evil. So when you see things in this earth, like it may not be politically correct, right? But so what? If the public doesn't agree with it, these words were around and established way before you were born, before this society was established. So hate the evil, love the good. It's a bad time when you have all this mingling and meddling of the natural order of things. Yeah, it's just right. The Tower of Babel all over again. So you have people doing these sex changes, same-sex marriages. Wisconsin Wendy, this girl who was on YouTube, known to be having sex with her dog, man.
Wisconsin Wendy.
Talking about different dog breeds and what they're better for. Oh, these dog breeds are classified as lickers. These dog breeds are classified as stickers.
Wow. She
had everything down to a science, man.
Wow.
That's confusion, man. This is a time of evil. You're not supposed to love that, man. And you got these other dumbass broads on the comment board. You know, well, what do you think about this? What, you know, how do you get them to do this? It's like, oh, well, what kind of dog do you? You know, giving them actual so-called sound advice. You know, it's madness, man. The Lord has no love for people like that. There's a vast majority of people on this planet that are gonna feel death by pain and know that the Lord is that the Lord does hate them, man.
Mm. Continuing on, it says, an established judgment in the gate. It may be that Yahweh, power of hosts, will be gracious unto the remnant of Joseph.
See, unto the remnant. It may be that the Most High will be gracious unto the remnant of Joseph, man. It's talking about the elect. Okay, first and foremost, Joseph, sorry about the northern kingdom, but that's also a buzzword for Israel, because the majority of the northern kingdom is what got scattered or lost. So all those returning to the most, because that's look at that was Joseph's his what happened to him was reminiscent to, you know, what happened to the northern kingdom. Joseph being the head, what he got scattered and thrown in and lost. Okay, and until his brothers found him later on, until they were reunited. So that's the same thing we see now. Joseph, the northern kingdom, the Latino and Native American indigenous peoples of North, Central, and South America, okay, are being reunited to their identity that they're Israelites. So there's a family reunion taking place amongst the elect. Because even though you got some of the 2/3 that might be waking up, if they're a 2/3, they're a 2/3. They're not really part of it, man.
That's right.
All things must be fulfilled, you know? It's just part of the prophecies that we got to be experiencing and living in right now. Okay? Is that it on that?
That was it on that.
So look, yeah, go ahead. Bring it out real quick.
All right, this is Proverbs chapter 8, verse 4, it says, unto you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the sons of men.
Right, unto you,
Sons of men. So like,
right. So the words of the Lord were always revealed to the men. That's never changed. So why you have women pastors and ministers now is because the wicked are in authority.
that's right.
It's more money to be made if you allow women the rights, the same exact rights of men. There's more money because you can now tax them. They see people as liability assets. You know.
Twice as much spending.
Yeah, you get twice as much out of these people when you allow them to do more things, as long as you can tax them, man. That's all it is. This whole thing is a racket. This whole life and this whole existence and how things are operated in is all a racket.
Pit.
Yeah, it's a snare. It's a gin. It's a snare. It's a pit. This isn't the way that life was intended to be lived. But how would you know better when you're raised and born in this society? How else would you know better? You can't wake up to the facts. Even if you were to travel the world, even if you were to go to these other remote villages and countries and see how they live, they still have no real clue on what life is supposed to be like. Because the utilization of everything in proper order and balance and harmony is not being executed anywhere, man. It's only being spoken of. And guess what? We're going to speak it into existence. Through the power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, we're speaking the kingdom of heaven into existence. The scriptures tell you that the kingdom of heaven is in you, man. So when you're always having those bad thoughts and, you know, you're basically creating your own torment and your own hell. You got to have a better mindset than that, man. What's that? Right. This, right? You should be able to see. Lord, why dost thou speak unto them in parables? Because it wasn't given to them. But blessed are your eyes and your ears, for you see and you hear. You perceive and you understand, man. The kingdom of heaven is for you. It's not for them. It's a very simple concept, man. It's very simple. But the biggest thing that divides that mentality and that spirit is character. The Lord wasn't choosing everyone, okay? He was very selective on who he chose to be around him, to allow to be grown. And the reason he was very selective is because the Most High gave him certain people. He wasn't there to save everyone. He was only there to save those which the Lord had put in his hands.
That's right.
So he went to go find them, man. He went to go call them. And once they received that calling, boom, it turned on like a light bulb. And it stayed on, like an asset, a residual income, right?
Real quick, you're talking about everything's a money-making racket here in America. This is Baruch 3:8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments.
Yeah, hey, look, if you stop working, you stop making money. Right? But because you need a car to go to work, right? You need a job to pay for the land that you bought your house on, and you still got property taxes. You still got to pay taxes to all these things. You still got to buy the gas, and that's tax. You got to buy food, water, light. You can't be really self-sustaining. You need to be able to make payments on these things, right? So we are yet this day in our captivity. This is a captive state. Same thing when you go to the prisons and the jails. Every day they're in there is they got to pay it's like a couple bucks. So that whole term, $1 a day, $1 a day, because it costs money for them to even be in there. They have to earn basically money, man. A lot of them get jobs to try to rack up some money so they can even buy extra food. And that's all the big racket, man. Having them in prison. It's expensive to run that shit. To keep the lights and the water on and those things alone is expensive, man. So everything's a racket. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity. Go ahead.
And to be subject to payments according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our power.
According to the iniquities of our fathers. Not so you other nations, your fathers and our fathers aren't the same. We come from a different heritage and a different line. See? So the Most High, because He has loved us, He's punishing us. He's not punishing these people. He's letting them do what they want. He lets the majority of their people grow into old age. You know, that's another thing with this whole retirement. You know, retiring at 65, that came from the Prussians. The Prussians came up with, okay, you can get a pension and retire at 65, but the average life expectancy for someone in Prussia was like 45 or some shit. Like, the majority of people were dying in their 20s and 30s. Very few were living in past their 40s and into their 50s. Very few. So they put that there knowing that a lot of people weren't going to be able to bank on that. So America adopted it, but it's backfiring because of what? The baby boomers, these younger generations, people trying to be healthy and all natural and shit, trying to live longer to enjoy their 401ks and bullshit. Okay?
This is Amos 3 and 2. It says, you only have I known of all the families of the earth, therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities.
You see, only you have I known out of all these families that the Most High has placed on the earth. And for that reason, because we know the Most High, because He gave us, He shared His power with us, giving us His name, His laws, His statutes, His commandments, His ways, for us to be a physical representation of Him on this planet, He's punishing us for turning away from Him. So what we're living in is prophecy, is a prophecy that is fulfilled, is a promise that's been kept. The Most High doesn't give out threats. He gives you promises. Because a promise is something that is meant to be kept. A threat can fall away. But a promise is kept. And the Most High promised, okay, that He would send for our Redeemer, which He has, Yahushua, and we're waiting for Him to come back. The Most High promised that there was a group of men that would be tried and refined in this furnace of affliction. So that's what we're in. This place you call America, the rule of the Caucasian race over the planet, okay, this is that affliction that the Lord said we would have to go through. Seeing how they pollute the air, the water, the food, the animals, the minds of the people. They've destroyed every asset on this planet, and they expect no return for their wickedness, man, for their wrongdoing. They really expect nothing to go wrong.
This is Numbers chapter 23 and verse 19. The Most High is not a man that He should lie.
See, the Most High is not a man that He should lie. He's going to keep that promise, man. These promises are going to be made good. He's going to make good on them. Go ahead.
Neither the Son of Man that He should repent.
Neither the Son of Man, okay, that he should repent. Go ahead.
Hath He said, and shall not He do it?
Right, He said it. So isn't He going to do it?
Shall He not do it?
Shall He not do it? He's not going to break His promise. He's not going to break the word. Okay? Go ahead.
Or hath He spoken, and shall He not make it good?
Right. Every time He said what's going to happen, it's happened. There's no account. There should be nothing in your mind to say the Most High doesn't exist, that His Son doesn't exist. There should be nothing in your mind feeding you that perverted thought, man. But that's okay, because look at there's people out there that do doubt, that don't believe, and they're supposed to. This is people that are supposed to doubt.
You said a perverted thought, right?
Yeah.
Verse 20, it says, behold, I have received commandment to bless, and He hath blessed, and I cannot reverse it. He hath not beheld iniquity in Jacob, neither hath He seen perverseness in Israel. And this is Balaam's parable. remember the account of Balaam and Balak?
Yeah, that was
He was trying to get him to curse Israel. But
curse Israel, right? But he said, look, the Most High said he was going to bless him, and he blessed him.
Yeah.
He blesses him. Basically, even this prophet, okay, even this prophet that was given you know, basically he was given the understanding. He understood that the Lord was dealing with Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai at the time, really just the Most High, okay, was dealing with Israel, and that promised that, look, he would keep us away from the perverseness, man. Meaning that he was, Israel at that time was going to be allowed to flourish, that you weren't going to be able to stop them. There was no way to stop them because the Most High was with them to make them known and established in the earth, okay, to be a light and a beacon unto these other nations on what power and authority and righteousness is. Okay? And the Most High is showing his power by saying, look, I set them up. Okay? And look what happens when they disobey me. I'm gonna show you. We're gonna be punished in the sights of all these people, but the faithful are gonna be rewarded and lifted up. And those the enemies of his own people, 2/3 of his own people, he's gonna destroy along with these other people, man. And that's fair, righteous judgment. You may say it's not fair because more people are going to be destroyed, but it is fair, man.
Numbers 23 and 21 again. It says, he hath not beheld iniquity in Jacob, neither hath he seen perverseness in Israel. Yahweh, his power is with him, and the shout of a king is among them.
Ooh, yeah, man, the shout of the king is among them, man. Okay? So the Most High was totally with us at that time. So they weren't going to be able to take us down no matter what they tried to do, no matter what sacrifice they tried to make, or what they tried to say against us, or to slander or whatever. It wasn't going to take us down. Okay? And we're going to get back, we're getting back to that power, man. We're getting back to that authority and power.
Precepts was this is Isaiah 50. Well, actually, this is Jeremiah 49 and 12. It says, "For thus said Yahweh, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken. And art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it." And that's talking about Esau catching that judgment, you know, because we're subject to vanity. I mean, subject to the creature was made subject to vanity. Baruch that I read earlier were subject under payments. In the kingdom of heaven, the heathens is going to be subject to payments, being that they're going to bring everything onto the nation of Israel.
Right. Yeah. Because earlier we were talking about all the Edomite, the so-called white man, destroying all the assets of the world. Is he not going to get a recompense for it? He is. You know, that's why, right, the brother called that for that precept, and it says, you shall, let me read it real quick, 49 and 12, altogether go unpunished. Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. So it says, look, even though the Most High said he was only going to punish us, look, for what you've done, okay, and even in Revelation it tells you that they won't repent, they are going to go punished, man. And they're going to go punished into a sword destruction and a racial extermination, man.
That's right.
So right now it's in their power to make these cases and lawsuits and legislative, you know, documents or whatever, and pass all this bullshit to say, oh, you can't hate on us, man. But you know what is coming out? That the most murderous person on this planet, is a Caucasian male.
That's right.
The Caucasian males are the ones shooting up the schools, killing their own parents, mutilating cats. There's someone out here in Olympia mutilating cats, and I bet you anything it's a goddamn cracker.
Taking certain of their organs too.
Yeah, harvesting their organs. Only crackers do that sick shit, man. the hell do you need to know what's inside the animal? You know what's in the animal. Hey, there's plenty of books on that shit. Some Jack the Ripper type shit, man. Some copycat. And then they call them copycat killers, you know?
And it only translates from them doing it to them, the little cats and shit, to them actually doing it to humans.
Yeah. That's what it's going to come down to, man. Especially with these holidays coming up, people are going to be staying out later and later doing their shopping. You got this guy killing cats. Just wait, he's going to get his hands on a child next, and then you know, he's going to anything he can overpower. It's probably him. You know.
You got cat parts in the bag right there.
Yeah, he got. Yeah.
Ziploc. You got to go fry that shit up.
You never know. You don't know who you're dealing with, man. You know? Nah, he don't got the coordination to catch a cat.
that could all be a mirage. That's his safety mechanism.
That guy, he got the traps and the snares, you know? He knows how to set the bait. You know, that's why he, you know, hey, look, we're being facetious, man. Yeah. You know, we're just having fun. Hey. Anyway,
this is Isaiah 55 and 11.
Okay. Yep. Because this word's going to come to pass, man. Prophecy, to say before it happens. To say before, to speak before. We're speaking the kingdom of heaven into existence. These Christians have had over 400 years to speak the kingdom into existence. They haven't done it, man. They've lied about it. They've lied about the kingdom of heaven, man. They've said it can pertain to all and to any. Even now, this very day, they lie, man. Go ahead.
Isaiah 55, I'm going to start at verse 10. For as the rain cometh down, and the snow from heaven, and returneth not thither, but watereth the earth, and maketh it bring forth and bud, that it may give seed to the sower and bread to the eater. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it.
See, it shall prosper. So the Most High said, you know, Babylon, the virgin daughter of Babylon, who ought to be destroyed, is going to be destroyed, man. This whole thermonuclear war is going to take place. That's going to be a beautiful thing, man. That's right. The destruction of any and everything that's wicked is a beautiful thing. You got to be able to let go from this false sense of reality, man. Go ahead.
This is Psalm 147 and 15. He sendeth forth his commandment upon earth. His word runneth very swiftly.
Yep. His word runneth very swiftly. So this word spreading like a wildfire, man. It has spread like wildfire, and it's still spreading. And they can't contain it. You know? YouTube doesn't know what to do, man. The internet doesn't know what to do. The politicians, they don't know what to do, man. They got to be very slick with what they're about to do next, man. Because here it is, they're already, they've been censoring free speech, man. Free speech is okay as long as you don't talk against the system. Free speech is fine and all this is good until you speak about overtaking the master. The master will let you talk. Go ahead, nigga. Talk all you want out in that field. Are you talking about killing me? Oh no, man. Now you got hell to pay. Now he's gonna take out everyone's tongues. Now he's gonna start chopping hands and fingers. He's gonna start tying ropes to their limbs, so they have to use their limbs to chop sugar cane or something, you know.
That's why Esau would want, if it was two or more slaves gathered together, there was a taskmaster in the vicinity.
Yeah, break them up.
So he can hear what, monitor what they're saying and shit.
Yeah, it goes
That's
back.
why they send in the agents,
It's part of the reason of cops, why cops are being formed, police departments. Okay? You gotta remember, all this stuff that was created to oppress the minorities. That's what it was all created for the continued oppression of our people. How these people aren't oppressed? You know, these other nations, they're not like us, man. These other nations, they're not like us, man. Okay? So we see it. We see it, man, and that's why we speak on it. You got these people, you know, say, "Oh, you know, I'm an Israelite. I love Israel. Blah, blah, blah. You know, I want to find the elect," but they don't do nothing. You know how many web pages you can go online, or Twitter accounts, or Instagrams, or whatever, and find people claiming to be Israelites but not doing the work as instructed. There's many, man. There are many.
You said these other nations aren't like us, you know. So this is Job 1:8. It says, and the Lord said unto Satan, and the apostle said, like, we're like many Jobs, you know. And the Lord has said unto and the Lord Yahweh said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in all the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that feareth the Most High and escheweth evil?
Yep, and escheweth evil. Look, we don't tolerate that stuff, man. Okay? Man, that did not look like Tarzan for a second. I was like, oh, here we go, here comes trouble. Look like trouble, man. Okay, one who escheweth evil. Okay, so look, Job, a man of the Lord, just like King David, he wanted no business with evil, man. He hated it. He despised it, man. Okay? So that's the attitude you're supposed to have, man. You're not supposed to be a partaker with evil ways. It's not right for you to know that you're an Israelite and doing nothing about it, especially as a man. Look, even if we were to work 6, which most of us do, not all the time, but most of us do work 6 days a week. So the one day off that we have, what are we doing with it, man? What's your fucking excuse? You know, a lot, man. You know what? Keep talking about it every week, man. Because look, hey, there's more people in this state. You know, they're just lazy. They're just lazy, man. That's what it comes down to. No discipline. Being slothful, not using their talent the right way, burying their talent. You got that mindset heavy out here, man. Yep.
This is Psalms chapter 94 in verse 16. It reads, who will rise up for me against the evildoers? Or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity?
Yeah, who's gonna stand up, man? You're supposed to say, here I am, Lord, send me. Here I am. Yeah, like Samuel. It tells you also that the Most High sendeth forth his prophets rising early. And where does he send them? To the computer desk? To the front of their smartphone camera?
To Walgreens?
Yeah, send them to Walmart. Send them to Walmart to hand out pamphlets. Yeah, where does he send them to, man? He sends them out to the gates of the cities, the highways and the byways, the chief places of concourse, into the midst of the people, into the fucking mosh pit, man. You're supposed to get in the mosh pit, man. You're supposed to start moshing. You're supposed to make a scene, man. Okay? You're supposed to make a scene, a public spectacle. Public. Out in the open, man. Like, man, these whores are more committed to their wickedness than you got Israelites proclaiming to clean up for righteousness, man. How sad is that? You got 18, 19, 20-year-old, 21-year-old whores out here, nipples hard freezing, working their profession better than an Israelite man who knows he's supposed to be out there, but he's not doing it.
This is Psalm chapter 68, verse 11, and it reads, The Lord gave the word. Great was the company of those that published it.
The Lord gave us the word, right? But great was the company of them that published it. You will know my disciples by the love they have one towards another. How are you going to rehearse that and be identified when you're goddamn Superman in the Fortress of Solitude? How does that work, man? How are you fulfilling these prophecies? How are you fulfilling these descriptions and these spiritual characteristics, man? You know, look, it doesn't really bother me, man, but it's something that needs to be said. It's something that needs to be talked about. You notice people don't like the topic. A lot of people don't like the topic, man. You're supposed to, the Most High is not giving you the spirit of fear. The only thing you're supposed to fear is the wrath of the Most High. That's what you're supposed to be afraid of. Shit, woe is me if I preach not the gospel. That's the mentality.
2 Timothy 1:7. For the Most High hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind.
Give us the spirit of power, man. The kingdom of heaven is in you. That's a power. You're supposed to speak it into existence. Okay? He said, and of love, man. It's what we're doing is out of love. And guess what? We got to love ourselves first before we can love you. Because if we can't love ourselves, how are we going to be able to love another, man? So what you see is you shall know my disciples by the love that they have one towards another. It makes it's too easy to make this make sense, man.
This is 1 John chapter 4, verse 17. Herein is our love made perfect, that we may have boldness in the day of judgment.
Ooh, shit. Our love is going to be made perfect in the day of judgment. Hey, because of our boldness in this thing, man. We're bold in this. How are you going to be able to say that, man, I was bold for the truth. I was bold for it when you never went and stepped and did what you had to do and make that spiritual sacrifice, man. The spiritual sacrifices, you know, they would make them as needed. Don't you need it constantly? So shouldn't you be doing this work in season and out of season with all long suffering? But guess what? It's cold. No one's going to come around. And then guess what? It's going to be too hot. There's always an excuse, man.
That we may have boldness in the day of judgment, because as he is, so are we in this world.
Because as he is, so are we in this world, man. Bold. Okay? Full of love, compassion, mercy. Hey, but even of the Most High has his day of judgment coming, which is going to be full of wrath and indignation to be poured out on the disobedient. Thou wicked servant, man. Thou sluggard. Thou lukewarm prophet. I would rather that you were hot or cold, but because you're lukewarm, I'm going to spit you out. Lukewarm water really has no purpose. It's got to get up to heat, or it's got to be cool, man. Go ahead.
Verse 18. There is no fear in love, for perfect love casteth out fear, because fear hath torment. He that feareth is not made perfect in love.
Right? He that feareth, he's not made perfect. So look, when you actually love the Most High, you're so concentrated on the love for him that you're not even worried about his wrath. You're not even fearing the wrath, because you're like, nah, man, I love him so much, I don't want to do anything to hurt him. So I'm not going to incur the wrath. So that makes you even more bold. You see? These are easy concepts to understand, man. When you're first young in this thing, that's your biggest motivator is that fear. You know, oh man, I don't want to fuck up, you know. But as you move forward, you're like, man, hey, I love what this is way too much to even think about that shit. So I don't know what you're talking about, man. That's when you actually start growing and evolving in this truth, man. which is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to grow and evolve. How long is it going to be that you remain disobedient and undisciplined? That's the majority. That's the problem with the majority. I mean, hell, the families we've come from are all the same, paycheck to paycheck type of people. They refuse to break the cycle. They don't know how to break the cycle. No one's going to teach them how to break the cycle. And even when you do, they won't believe you. And you know what? That's a beautiful thing. Because that confirms a couple things, man. It confirms, hey, look at 2/3 exist. It confirms that the curses are real. So it confirms that a redemptive case is going to be made. It confirms that there are special people that the Most High chooses, okay, that he's going to pluck out of this scenario, man. There's a time and a place for everything. There's a purpose for everything, man. The ends justify the means. It may not make sense to you right away. Bite your tongue, suck it up, swallow your pride, okay? The answer will come later in due time. You don't need the answer right now. So stop looking for something that's not meant for you to get. It's like when you, there's like a mom and pop burger shop that closes in the winter, but you're still out there every fucking day at lunchtime. Yeah. Man, when are they gonna open? There's a sign, we'll open in June. And it's fucking December, 19th. And you're out there, man, fucking why don't they open? Simple people, man. Simple, right?
1 Thessalonians 3:12. And the Lord make you to increase and abound in love one toward another and toward all men, even as we do toward you.
Yep. One toward another and even to all men. Who are those all? Who are all the men in question? Elect. Israel, of the elect. Okay? The scripture goes, another scripture tells you, if at all possible, to be at peace with all men. Because there's really no need. We don't have time for what they call beef or drama or internet beef, like 50 Cent or Cardi B. We don't got time for that shit. These guys are making money, and they got so much free time on their hands that's what they preoccupy their free time with, man. Look, they talk about, oh man, I worked hard to get here, this and that. Well, why'd you stop working? Why'd you quit? Why'd you quit, man? Look, when you really have an affection and a desire for something, you keep going at it. Okay, and if you got the perfect system set up to where, look, it's self-sustaining, because you have that love, guess what you're going to do? You're going to help the next man get to that level. So you're not going to quit doing what you're doing. All these so-called artists that are famous, they should all be mentors to these young bucks coming in that are fucking the game up. Because now all you see are these old hip-hop heads talking shit about the new ones, but you were so bent on having beef to be a platform to sell and make money in music that you've destroyed yourself. You've created the monster, and now you can't contain it. Why? Because you're doing the same broken-ass cycle that our people have been doing, man. You don't want to change. Real people that are successful and so-called rich, they want more people around them to be successful and rich. Because it breeds more creativity. It gives more positive energy. That's the real greed that they have. They don't really, a lot of them don't have the greed for the love of money. There are those in this world that do, yeah. Where's the wicked? There are those in this world that do. But there are some that don't. There are, so you know who they are, man. You know who has that love of money as the root of all evil. In the scriptures, there were men and people, Israelite believers, followers, that believed that were in high places of authority or had a lot of money, but it didn't corrupt them. They used it constantly, love towards one another.
Joseph from Arimathea.
Joseph of Arimathea, Khan. See how that comes to mind? It's supposed to if you're really conversing in these scriptures, man. That autopilot kicks in. Oh yeah, that's this. Oh yeah, that's that. Right. Look at Moses. Look at Joseph. Look at Noah. Abraham. Look at Jacob. It costs money to have kids and wives, and you know. Laban. That's where Jacob got rich off of. Other people with substance want you to have substance too. They want prosperity, man. They want the growth of their people.
It's at 100.
Oh, it's at 100?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, don't tilt it in there like that because it'll break the port.
Go
ahead.
This is 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 17. It says, charge them that are rich in this world that they be not high-minded.
Right, charge them. Not saying, okay, we got to go tax them. No, he's saying, look, tell them, look, you got money in a position of power. Don't be high-minded about it. Okay? Don't let it get to you in pride and in ego. Don't let it swell you up. Because the Most High can take that away from you at any second. Yep.
1 Timothy 6 and 9, it says, but they that will be rich fall into temptations and a snare.
Right, because look at, there's studies, statistics, whatever you want to call it. When people win the lottery, a lot of them lose that money quick. You know why? Because they spend it on the lust of their flesh, drugs. A lot of it goes to drugs, and then they don't know how to spend it. They just buy a bunch of shit, they buy a bunch of liabilities, and they didn't use any of it to create assets.
They don't appreciate it either. They didn't work for it.
They didn't. When you don't respect money, when you don't have any integrity, yeah, like you said, they'll try to. Some of them will use all that money to try to win again. That shit don't work, man.
But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition.
See, which drown men in destruction and in perdition. How many of these, people that made their money, even T-Pain, man. I mean, he made his money. He got a house and like 2 cars, and that's all he's got. He still has to do things to keep making money, but he's not top of the charts like he used to be, right? So that's what happens. And some of these artists, okay, they don't get into the business of things. Like Michael Jackson owned a lot of his royalties. That's where the money is in the royalties. Disney makes a lot of money because they got royalties. These companies that actually keep doing successful during recessions and during terrible economic times, they're doing well because, they study their markets. They know what they're getting into. Well, look, we know what's coming. So we're studying, okay, to be a shelter from the coming destruction, man. And the way you do that is by coming out to these highways and byways. A physical action has to be taken. Because look, you can say you have faith and that's good, man. But without a physical action, without a physical work to prove it, you're fooling yourself, man. You're fooling yourself. Okay? Look at Abraham was going to sacrifice Isaac. Noah built the boat. It pleased the Most High, man, by the foolishness of preaching to save them which believe. What does it mean to preach? Can someone look up the word? I will just do the Google preach, do Edom preach, and then do the blue letter preach. Okay? And then if you can, pull the precept. Okay? Because it pleased the Most High by the foolishness of preaching to save them which believe. And the scripture tells you, I believe, therefore have I spoken. So we're speaking the kingdom into existence, man. The kingdom of heaven is in you. It's in you, man. And a lot of you guys are stifling the kingdom. When you have some old, maybe ulterior motive, like, oh, if I could just do this and then the kingdom comes. You know? Hey, man, it's okay to, you know, it's okay to like joke about that to a degree. You know, you're just being facetious, but to really harbor that thought is the wrong thing to do, man. That's not right. You know? Like, you know, I saw someone on the comment board for another video about you know, the missiles, you know, missiles and war and stuff. They're like, man, I just want to see the Game of Thrones finish out, laugh out loud, you know? Yeah, that's a joke. Right? And you know, but that's what that's also saying. 145. But that's what he's also saying. Maybe he realizes it or not. But looking at it spiritually, is Game of Thrones comes out in the year 2019. So he's like, look, if this war can just be held off, because he's saying, look, this war's got to be happening sometime soon, but if it could just be held off until after the series is over, then, you know, okay, I'm cool with it. You're right. Then let the missiles take me. You see? So look, people are seeing that the time is short. That's what I pull from it spiritually. Okay? And some people say, oh, that's a reach. That's a reach. Hey, well, look, a spiritual man judgeth all things. Okay? We're spiritual men. So if I tell you of earthly things and you believe that, how much more can I tell you of a spiritual thing? You see, two different mindsets. It's like talking to someone who's a business owner and an investor trying to talk to an employee and a self-employed person. It's two different conversations. The employee just wants to talk about sports, what's on TV, and the weather. We were talking about this, right? But a businessman and an investor, they want to talk about, well, what kind of returns, assets, what are you pulling, you know, things of that nature. They're talking about higher things. Why? Because they want to sustain a life. They have a future, a dream that they're working for to provide for. That's the mindset you're supposed to have as an Israelite man and woman, man. You're supposed to be thinking into the future of things, man. What's to come when America's destroyed? The kingdom of heaven is coming once America's destroyed. You should want this place to be destroyed, man. Right. It's not going to fix itself. How many years has it been since they've made things better? Since the 60s, the 50s? Is it really getting better? Or does it just have the illusion of getting better?
Fiat.
Your water is worse. You traded the quality of life for more, what? Social freedom? For technology? A lot of core values and tact and respect and honor and dignity has been lost. And it can't be regained. It can't be regained, man. Go ahead.
So this is preached just on Google. It says, deliver a sermon or religious address to an assembled group of people, typically in church. And then going down, it says origin before, prae before, and decari, declare.
Meaning to proclaim.
Proclaim, right?
Okay, to preach is to proclaim. Go to the actual header.
Isaiah 58, proclaim, cry out loud.
The etymology from Edom Online, it says preach verb at first in late Old English, predician, a loan word from church Latin we borrowed 12th century as preaching, to preach, give a sermon, to proclaim publicly, announce.
To proclaim publicly. To proclaim publicly. Kasai, you got that precept?
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 21. For after that, in the wisdom of the Most High, the world by wisdom knew not the Most High. Right? It pleased the Most High by the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe.
Okay, Ms. Brother, you got it in the book.
Yep.
Okay. So it pleased the Most High by the foolishness of preaching to proclaim publicly, to save them which believe. So you really, there's not a lot of believers in this world, man. There's more Justin believers than believers in the truth. I can guarantee you that. There's more Justin Bieber fans than actual believers in Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai.
Yep. So it's from Strong's G2782, Kerygma. Okay, and it says from G2784, a proclamation, especially of the gospel by inclination, the gospel itself.
By implication.
The
Gospel
implication
itself. And what does gospel mean? Good news. How beautiful are the feet of them that bring glad tidings. So what does that mean? How beautiful are the feet? That we're just rolling around on Segways and lazy boys with turbo kits on them, and zooming around the town, you know, shouting out random words on a bullhorn. No, it means look.
Repent.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Repent from what? Talk to people, man. You know, have an open platform. When you're with the megaphone saying shit, who the hell is going to be able to really have a dialogue, man? See, this allows for people to come up. You know, it's almost like a psychological thing. Someone with a bullhorn, you tend to avoid, man. You know. Sometimes these cameras would make people shy away, but really now everyone wants to be on camera.
Yeah. Is you?
Yeah. Hey, and then that's getting conditions to where it's not even a big thing. A lot of people, I don't want to be seen. I don't want to be seen. And then that's a trigger. That's a a human trigger. Like, well, what are you doing in life that you don't want to be found out? You know, which is the exact same thing the scriptures talk about. The wicked hate the light. They don't want the truth to come out. And when you bring out the truth, they say, what? Oh, that's hateful. Oh, that's hateful. Oh, it's so hateful. Why? Because it's true? He's a lot of things. But he's not wicked, and he hates the wicked, man. He loves to destroy the wicked, man. How about that?
That's right.
Oh, yeah, God loves. He loves to destroy the wicked, all wicked things. You're right, man. I hope that's what you're saying. That's what you're saying, right? The Most High hates wickedness, right? He loves the things that are right? Because that is true. And guess what? Homosexuality is wicked.
Yep.
Bestiality is wicked.
Yep.
The so-called white man as a race of people are wicked. 2/3 of our own people are wicked. This world is developed in wickedness, man.
It tells you in Proverbs, the fear of the Lord is to hate the wickedness in the evil way.
Every wicked and evil way, every perverse thing I hate, man. You're supposed to.
It says that which is proclaimed by a herald or public crier.
A herald or public crier. Cry aloud, spare not. That's what a public crier is. So you don't need a megaphone. The public crier didn't have some megaphone. You know, he was at the top of his lungs from the chest. You know, giving it full authority, man.
Extra, read all about it.
Exactly. You see?
It says a proclamation by herald in the New Testament.
A proclamation to proclaim. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Go ahead.
In the New Testament, the message or proclamation of the heralds of the Most High.
The prophets. That's what that's talking about. The prophets. The disciples. The apostles. The sent out. What were they sent out with? A message. To what? To redeem, to tell Israel that the anointed has come to come back to the ways of the Heavenly Father and abandon all the ways of the heathen. Stop being like the so-called white man. Stop being like the Asian. Stop being like the so-called Muslim.
Paul said that Russia not expecting power.
That's right.
In other words, he was telling you, stop saying white people, because the spirit is in them.
Well, you know what? They're the wicked. The Most High God, who we call God, He made them the wicked and the devil. Okay? So you can love the wicked all you want, but though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished.
That's right.
Meaning in context,
Hey, we'll come talk. Let's come talk. Come back. The wicked flee when no man pursue it. Cut.
What is that? 3 things that I hate? A proud bum.
Hey, you got all that to say. You see, that's the funny thing about, you know, people, especially our people. You know. Yep. You know, that's you know, like the man up there. You know, he knows it all, right? You don't know what the hell's going on, but all of a sudden he knows it all. Okay. Yeah, spiritual wickedness in high places. Who's running the show? Not the, you said, what? What the fuck? You just correlated 2 things from 2 different sides of town. What the hell happened? I thought you were gonna have some thought-provoking, epiphany or some shit. And go catch your bus. Yeah, you know. Hey, where you come from, man? Wandering to and fro in the streets? Are you an Edomite? Are you a Benjamin baby? Is your mother a rape victim too? Are you the spawn of Satan?
I just wanted to point out that, you know, the old Jake, you know, the old Judite dude that was a bum, he walked by and he started talking, and then here it is, the old Gadite lady that's a bum, you know, she came up complimenting brothers, talking about how it's always nice to walk by. So,
To the northern kingdom, southern kingdom.
Yeah, man. Hey, to hell with the 2/3. To hell with all you 2/3, man.
That's right.
You know, all that black tower shit is out the fucking window, man. Go ahead.
Yep, it says, last point. It says the proclamation of the necessity of repentance and reformation made by the prophet Jonah. You know, what goes in mind is a wicked and adulterous generation looking for a sign, but they should be given a sign of Jonah.
Right. No sign shall be given them except for the sign of Jonah. And that's what our people are looking for, some sort of sign. Oh, you gotta love everybody. Hey, look, man. If that was the case and that worked for you, why are you in the condition you're in? That's really what I want to know what's going on. If that's really the right way to be, and that's how you end up in life, then don't sign me up. Fire my ass. You know, I quit. To hell with that shit. But you know what? That's the future of someone who sits on their ass all day knowing that they're an Israelite and doing nothing with the knowledge. If this kingdom were to go on another 30 years, that would be them. Walking around knowing it all, seeing the young men on the corners and saying, I used to do that, knowing goddamn well you didn't. But because you're old, you know, I might believe you. That's why the scriptures talk about speak, young man, if there be need of thee, and don't be you know, basically don't be afraid to inform the unlearned, the unwise, and the elderly, man. Because that's who the Most High is dealing with, babes. That's not some old head. Most High ain't dealing with no old heads, man. You gotta be, that's why Yahweh Shai said you must be born again. Put all that shit out your mind. Okay? Remove all those parasites and ingest the proper things. This word. Okay? You can't live off bread alone, my G. You gotta live by every word. This has to really embody you. You gotta put it on like an exoskeleton. You gotta put it on like a mech suit. This thing's gotta encapsulate you. This is your armor. Put it on, man. Eat it. It needs to be inside and outside of you. It needs to be all of what you are, man. Not a this portion and that portion. And you come out looking like some hunchback Frankenstein. What the fuck? What would that look like when you took the King Leonidas and you stitched them up with that horror hunchback, the betrayer? What would that look like, man? That shit would be weird. You have something else that you're holding?
Because it said in Corinthians, say those that believe by the preaching of the preaching. And this is 2nd Ezra, chapter 7, verse 69. And it reads, and being judged, if he should not forgive them that are cured by his word, and put out the multitude of contentions. But the point being that you're cured by the word of the Lord.
Yep, that's part of being baptized. Okay, that's part of being what the baptism is. This word is supposed to wash over you and cleanse you. Okay? You got to get clean, man. It's time to get clean. A lot of guys are acting like they got in the water, but they just ran around real quick sweating. Like, oh yeah, man, I got in the water too. You look at me, I'm wet too. And you look at him and you're like, bro, you smell different though, man.
You don't smell clean.
Yeah, why do you smell so different? And you're out of breath. I was watching Cops. Can you grab 1 Corinthians 15 and 47 real quick?
Yeah. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 47. The first man is of the earth, earthy. The second man is the Lord from heaven. As is the earthy, such are they also that are earthy. And as is the heavenly, such are they also that are heavenly. And as we have borne the image of the earthy, we shall also bear the image of the heavenly. Now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot enter into the kingdom of the Most High, neither doth corruption inherit incorruption.
Right. So all these ways about yourself, okay, is not going to be able to be allowed to carry over and translate into a righteous society, man. You have to kill off this old man and these earthy ways. Even though we're still going to have bodies of the earth, we're going to or the image, the appearance of it, they're actually going to be heavenly bodies.
They're going to be incorruptible. That's the thing.
Right, incorruptible. We're not going to, meaning what? We're not going to, the body will not perish.
Can I read this? I'll read it again. It says, verse 50, now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot enter into the kingdom of the Most High, right. Neither doth corruption inherit incorruption.
Right, neither does corruption inherit incorruption. So when something is dead already, it can't be, right? You see a dead animal on the side of the road, and its ribs are showing, and it's been run over 3 or 4 times. That thing, you could assemble all the pieces back together, right, and put it in a pile. It's not going to just get up and start moving again. Okay. Corruption cannot put on incorruption. Incorruption, you have to go from glory to glory.
Like if you have recorded that whole decompose process, yep. And just rewind the video, and then you see it's more.
It's moving.
Yeah, from the time he started recording to the time he got hit by the car and shit.
Yep.
All right, verse 51, 1 Corinthians 15, 51. Behold, I show you a mystery.
Secret time, okay? Secret time.
We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed.
Yep, go ahead.
In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality.
Right. So that's what you're doing when you come out to these highways and byways, is you're washing yourself. You're washing. This is part of the baptism. This is part of being baptized. Is you're washing your hands of the blood of others, and even for your own sins and crimes, man, that you've done in your past life, that you've done before. How many years until you found the truth? That's how many years you were being totally just an asshole and wicked. And still, when look, every day you wake up and you go out into this world, and there's so many, everything is defiled, man. The whole earth is defiled under the inhabitants thereof. Okay? So this whole place has to be clean, dissolved. See, there's a washing that needs to take place. There's a baptism that has to happen. So when you come out and you warn the wicked man from his evil ways, okay, you're washing the blood off your hands. If he takes heed he saved himself, he can save the next man. You see that business mentality? Assets. I want to go find a guy that can find a guy. I don't want to find a guy that ain't gonna do shit. Give me that talent. And give it to this man. Here, you got it. Because I know you can do something with it. The successes of this world learn how to be successes because they've taken the scriptures, man. And they've applied the lessons of immortality to this corruptible age. Once you start realizing these things and then applying them, you're going to see growth. Okay? I'm not saying like you're going to, it's going to be like muscle gains. You're going to be like, yeah, look at that. No, you're going to have spiritual growth. Okay? So you got to be mindful of these things, man. That's why brothers always say, we're playing with fire, man. Some guys will say, oh, it's better that I don't even put my hand to the plow and fail. Like, why are you even thinking to set yourself up for a failure, man? You've condemned yourself already. Why don't you think stronger that Yahweh Shai can save anybody, even me? That should motivate you to get up and go out there, man.
There's a saying, those that think they can and those that think they can't, both are right.
Look, we're speaking the kingdom into existence, man. These prophecies to come, okay, not by the will of men, but by holy men which spake, okay, as they were moved by the Spirit. You see? That's a power this world is afraid of. That's a true power that this world is afraid of, man. It's confidence with faith, right?
This is 3:18, Ezekiel, or 3:17. Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word at my mouth, and give them warning from me. When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand.
See? So, it was better that you never even knew the truth if you weren't going to do shit with it. Thou sluggard, thou wicked servant. You knew that he was an austere man. You knew that he took and he reaped what he had not sown. You had no excuse, man. You cursed yourself. That's really what's going on. There's no other way to explain it. So, that's the thing, man. People will find excuses and blame everyone else except themselves. It's never their fucking fault. That's not the mentality that a man of the Lord is supposed to have. It tells you that those who have seen no prophets or beheld him with the bodily eyes, they're going to believe the thing which he said. They're going to call their sins to repentance and remember them. I take full acceptance and responsibility for what the fuck I've done. Please that's where you ask for grace and mercy. That's not to allow yourself to be a piece of shit every hour of the day. Well, here's my itinerary. Today, I'll be a piece of shit. And then the next day, I'll continue to be a turd. And then after that, well, let's just continue the trend and I'll be a steaming pile of shit my whole life. Yeah, that looks good. Book me in for that. What kind of person does that to themselves, man? You're evil to yourself. No wonder you're out. You're not helping anyone else. You're supposed to be helped. People say, "Oh, I'm a help. I'm a help." How? Who the fuck are you helping? How? How are you helping anyone? You're helping the adversary by not teaching, by not proclaiming publicly. You're hindering the word. You're hindering the progress. So you know what? If that's your true role, then that's your true role, man. But the elect Hey, we're trying to get out of here, man. So I
Right.
don't know what the fuck everyone else is doing, but we're trying to get out of here. You know? Go ahead.
Luke 12 is more than Ezekiel, but this is Luke 12:47. And that servant which knew his Lord's will and prepared not himself, neither did according to his will, shall be beaten with many stripes.
Shall be beaten with many stripes, man. Oh, you wanted to fuck around and play games? Boom, kill your child in front of you. Boom, kill your wife. Boom, you're paralyzed. Boom, let the animals come and eat you while you're alive. All kinds of things could happen, man.
I seen a video on Real Star of some, like 3-4 bears eating a wolf. And that shit looked crucial, man. And the first thing I thought of was all them people that's gonna be getting eaten by all kind of animals in that day. Man.
You said 3-4 bears eating a wolf?
Eating
Right.
a wolf.
Right.
Damn, that wolf.
Yeah, it was like 3 or 4 bears. Yeah.
In the water, they had them drowning in the water and shit. It was crazy.
Yeah, man. It's not a that's the thing, man. Death is never a pretty thing. It's not beautiful. Death isn't a beautiful thing.
Yeah, last night.
People try to say that, have no idea of what the hell is really happening, man. The pain and the torment that takes place. The scriptures tell you that it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. Because out of him, he has the issues of life and death. He controls the issues of life and death, man. So why are you playing with that switch? Why are you like, oh, look, no, I'm over the line. Nope, I'm over the line. Nope, I'm over the line.
You ain't do nothing to me yet.
Right. Yeah, come and you can't catch me. You can't, like, what the fuck kind of childish shit is that? So you admit to being a child in your actions, but you won't ever be a child that is going to get, disciplined? No, all children get disciplined, trust me. You got some people that are 40, 50 years old that are still children. Grown-ass men in their 50s still acting like goddamn teenagers, man. See it all the fucking time. Women in their fucking 60s and 70s acting like little cunts all the fucking time. No respect, cutting people off, talking shit all the time. Hey, look, the Most High is gonna show you. Man, look, hey man, you're gonna be humble. The people will be humble.
Verse 48, Luke 12:48. But he that knew not and did commit things worthy of stripes shall be beaten with few stripes. For unto whomsoever much is given, of him shall be much required. And to whom men have committed much, of him they will ask the more.
So look, it's better to be sincere and honest, Like, hey, look, man, the parable, when the Lord said, look, the son that was told to do it, and he didn't. He said he was going to do it, he didn't do it. And then he had the other son who said he wasn't going to do it, but he actually did go do it. It's better for him. It's bad that he said no, but at least he did it. The other guy said he was going to. Yeah, I'm going to. Yeah, I'm doing the work. But you never did it. That's way worse, man. Right. That's way worse. Okay, it's better to say, nah, man, that's not for me. But then actually just go and do it. That's way better, man. Let's rotate. Tazier, you want to speak? We're going to speak. Someone rotate. Yeah, everyone rotate around. We're going to rotate Torah.
Right, well, Romans 14:22. Yep. Like the brother was talking about, man. All right. Basically, it all boils down to whether or not you got faith or not, man. It all boils down to whether or not you sincerely believe, whether or not you sincerely doing the work. Not trying to be seen of men, not trying to get praises of men, not trying to do it for YouTube views, not trying to do it to be the top flight Israelite. It's all about faith in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, man, at the end of the day. Captain Israel. Go ahead.
This is Romans chapter 14, verse 22. Hast thou faith? Have it to thyself before the Most High. Happy is he that condemneth not himself in that thing which he alloweth.
Well,
verse 23. And he that doubteth is damned if he eat, because he eateth not of faith. For whosoever is not of faith is sin.
right. But for whatsoever is not of faith is sin. Okay. He that doubted, that's nothing. You can't doubt when it's true. Like the brother was talking about. I don't know. You got people that might not come to the fold because they might think that what if I fail, or what if this, or what if that? Which the elder Yasharumbo always gets into. Don't worry about the what ifs, man. You know, or the what if this happened, what if that happened, what if Esau, you know, does this, and that. Hey, forget all that, man. Where's the faith at? You know, they said whatsoever is not of faith is sin, man. Okay. So brothers, we out here on the highways and byways in all sincereness and it's all faith, man. Which Hebrews 11:1 tells you that faith is the. Go ahead.
This Hebrews chapter 11 verse 1. It says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. For by it the elders obtained a good report. Through faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of the Most High.
Right, we ain't gotta go to no goddamn Scientology school to figure out how the Most High created the heavens and earth, man. The scriptures tell you, man, and we have faith that it was so, man, or that it is so. Okay, we don't gotta test out these scientific theologies or whatever the hell you call them, theories, experiments. All right, lab tests and these atoms, you know, do this when you put them together. That might be how dirt was created. No, man. The Lord gave His word, and He put it, Yahweh Shai and His angels, the elect men, to work, man. Okay.
It says,
they gave you the definition of faith: the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen, man. Okay. Go ahead.
You can't put faith in a box.
Right.
It says, through faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of the Most High, so that things which are seen were not made of things which do appear.
Exactly, man. But you got people that worship the creature more than the creator, man. You got people that worship things that you can physically see and physically touch, but won't give glory to the ones that made everything into existence, man. People worshiping matter of fact, people worship we just came out of the season where people was worshiping the dead, man. You know, with October 31st, which is basically the eve of what's the Samhain? Samhain, I believe is the Day of the Dead, pretty much. Which goes back with the elders. Every year the elders go into it and put up videos. And you can go on YouTube and look it up, man. But it goes back to the Druids, which were Jakes. All right, they'll do all these demonic ass rituals in groves, under groves, which a grove is trees, man, that connect together at the top, man.
Oak trees.
Oak trees.
That's what Druid means, men of the oak.
Okay, yep, calm, yep. Forgot about that. That's right, man. Okay. But instead of having faith in righteousness and in truth and what is written and what is being proven to be true, people rather get into that wickedness, man. Okay? Go ahead. I think you can go to verse 6. Then you can grab your picture.
So Hebrews 11:6. It says, but without faith it is impossible to please Him, for he that cometh to the Most High must believe that He is, and that He is a rewarder of them that diligently seek Him.
Right, you must believe that He is, and that He is a rewarder of them that diligently seek Him. Not guessing whether or not you're gonna receive a reward. Go to Hebrews 6 and 10 real quick. Not that saying that, oh, what if I don't make it? The scripture saying, endure all things for the elect's sake, man. Endure all things for the elect's sake. It's a sacrifice, man. You're making your bodies a living sacrifice, man. That's exactly what you're doing when you come out here in the highways and byways. And the Apostle Gabar put up a video today dealing with a gut check. He was getting into how you gotta have heart in the truth, man. You gotta be resilient. All right, have that spirit to bounce back from adversities, man. Being able to like that bum nigga come over and talking about principalities, not even understanding what he's saying. Being able to fight those spiritual demons in high places, man. Being able to fight that shit, man. Go ahead.
Yep, this is Hebrews chapter 6, verse 10. For the Most High is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love, which ye have showed toward his name.
Right, he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him, man. He's not gonna forget your works and labor of love, which you show towards his name, man. All right. He's gonna, if you sincerely believe, have faith, put away niggerish mannerisms. All right. Cherish the brotherhood. Have charity, faith. Preaching the word instant, in season, out of season. Okay. Calling upon the name, praying. All right. You, Adaram Ratazah, if you do all those things until the very end, you're going to be saved, man. You're going to get the reward. Which ultimately is the salvation and the kingdom, man. Go ahead.
Yep, it says, for the Most High is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love, which ye have showed toward his name, and that ye are ministered to the saints and do minister.
Right. Which minister, I believe, means to serve. Okay, which we're servants of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai and each other, man. Which is another thing that I kind of get on myself about too, is just getting back to, you know, serving brothers humbly, okay. Putting that, praying to the Lord for that more humble and contrite, broken spirit, not being complacent and comfortable. You know, just because, you know, I've been around brothers for X amount of years, that don't stop them from being brothers, man. You know? Just because we know, you know, certain things about each other or whatever the case may be, don't make that brother less of a man or a brother, man. You know? You know? Go ahead.
Yep, verse 11.
Which we in the flesh, man. Okay? We in the flesh, so like the elders always said, there's gonna be shit you can say about any one of us, man. But understanding that brother's spirit, man, that's what's important. Go ahead.
Yep, verse 11. And we desire that every one of you do show the same diligence to the full assurance of hope until the end.
To the full assurance of hope, man. Let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind. All right, and knowing the terror of the Lord, knowing the terror of the Lord, we persuade men.
That's right.
Shut the fuck up.
Tweet, 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 tweet.
Sucker and succotash.
Hey, that's what we were just talking about, man. Oh no, the apostle was talking about that, man. He's saying like you supposed to love getting, like he was talking about they was watching a boxing match last night. And they were saying how one guy came out and they were booing the hell out of him because he was a Jake in Scotland, which a lot of them Scottish people are Jakes. They just don't know it. But they were booing him. He was like, man, you're supposed to embrace that, which we know, we understand, and we do. You know. Hey, the brother just had that brother read the scripture. It pleased the Most High by the foolishness of preaching to save them which believe. What?
It says, and we desire that every one of you do show the same diligence to the full assurance of hope unto the end, that ye be not slothful, but followers of them who through faith and patience inherit the promises.
Right. Through faith and patience, which patience means to people crazy, man. Which people patience means to suffer, man. So you are gonna hey man.
Beating up the dog, people tripping on.
You know, you can't beat your dog in Washington, man.
But you can fuck your dog though.
Yeah, right. Weirdos. Where we at again, Bob Shop?
Hebrews 6 and 12 again. That ye be not slothful, but followers of them who through faith and patience inherit the promises.
Right, who through faith and patience inherit the promises, man. There's a difference between inheriting the kingdom of heaven and being born into it, man. Being born back into the kingdom, man. All right? Because if you're born into the kingdom, that means you didn't endure, you didn't suffer. If you were an Israelite, man, that means you were part of the 2/3 club. You was part of the scoffers and the scorners and the unfaithful and the unbelieving and the mockers. The ones that said you were part of the group that said, "Let the Lord's blood be upon you and your hands." Okay. Okay, go ahead.
No, I
said what?
Us and our children.
Yeah, us and our children. Yeah, that's what y'all said. You know.
This is Matthew 17 and 20. Then Yahweh Shai said unto them, because of your unbelief, for verily I say unto you, if ye have faith as a grain of mustard seed, ye shall say unto this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you.
Right. Like brothers always get into, mustard seed is small, man. All right. So if we just had the faith for that, we'll be able to move governments, man, which we are through the Spirit, man. Lifting up the banner. We got okay. So lifting up the banner, like I was saying, Isaiah 13, yeah, that's right. You know, lifting up the banner, shake their hand. All right, that's us through the Spirit and power, Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, bringing down Babylon, man. Bringing down the rulers of this world. Okay. Oh.
Yeah. That's what I was saying earlier about the that quote. It was from Confucius. You know, those that say they can and those that say they can't. You know, it says both are usually right. You know, so that was piggyback or landbacking on what the brother was saying earlier. Those dudes that put their hand to the plow and then they're like, oh, what if I fail? You know, why are you thinking like that? You're supposed to be forward thinking. I'm having that vision.
Like but saying, you defeated yourself already, man. You know, you already came into the you already condemned yourself, man. Okay?
That's like a football team before they start playing. Oh, we gonna lose today.
Oh yeah. That's what Apostle DeVar was talking about. The dude that came, I forgot the boxer's name, man. Oh, okay. Yeah, for sure. There was two boxers, and one was an apparent Edomite, like the Apostle said, could have been Jake, and the other one was a Jake, the obvious Jake. But they say he went into the fight, he wasn't ready, but he wasn't mentally there, man. He wasn't mentally prepared. When he was in the ring, he was already like he was freezing up. He wasn't capitalizing on certain opportunities, openings. And then when he was losing, he basically just was accepting defeat. And even his trainer was talking about throwing in the towel and all that, man. So if you can't come into like the Apostle Paul said, this truth is a fight. You can't come into this truth without the mentality of, oh, I'm gonna have to, and the scriptures say, count the cost, man. If you can grab that real quick. The scriptures say, count the cost, man. Whether or not you have sufficient to build or to finish, roughly paraphrase, right?
And then what Yahweh Shai said, you have not suffered the blood.
You have not resisted unto blood. Yeah. Yep. So I mean, like, and brothers always say, we ain't even in the hard part yet, man. This is just the scrimmage or practice. Okay. The rehearsal, man. Okay. Count the call. Okay. It's 16 for sure. Okay. All right. And it's not good enough to just give shalawams and say Yahweh Bashim Yahshua Baraka Thumb to you, Akim. If you ain't doing the work,
maybe it is
man,
14.
okay? You burying your talent, you hiding your talent, especially if you got a able and the Lord bless you with a body that you able to physically be out there in the highways, man.
Hey, there's brothers that aren't in the 100% health that still go out and have been going out for years on end, week in and week out. So even that's not really a good excuse either, man. So come on, man. You got brothers that, I mean, shit, we stand on concrete like 6 days a week, 7 days a week, every day. Man, we're always standing on concrete, man. That's why we're constantly stretching and moving and having to squat down. And, hey, look, man, it's part of what it is.
Straight to it.
This is unbalanced.
Yeah, present your bodies a living sacrifice. You have to literally live that, man.
That's right, man. You gotta live it. Go ahead. You got it.
Yep. This is Luke 14, and I started at 25. It says, "And there went great multitudes with him, and he turned and said unto them, If any man come to me and hateth not father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yea, even his own life also, he cannot be my disciple."
Right, because you got a lot of jakes that try to use their family and their kids as an excuse to not be out there on the highways, man. So I gotta take care of my family, or I gotta work. If I don't work, I don't eat. Or just using that as an excuse, but it's not an excuse, man. Many brothers in the truth got kids, man, and responsibilities and families and high positions in this kingdom, man. Okay, so that's not an excuse. Brothers work overtime, hella overtime, and still take care of their kids, and then and still be on the highways and byways doing the work, man. So that's not an excuse. Go ahead.
Yep. Verse 27. "And whosoever does not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple."
Right, bear your cross, man. Like Paul, he had a thorn in the flesh, which the apostles always say that they believe that it was a disease, man. So if you got a certain ailment or disease, that's not an excuse, man. Like the brother was just saying, you got brothers that ain't in 100% health as far as in the flesh, man, but they still out there fervent in the spirit on the highways and byways, man. Okay? Why? Because they sincerely believed, they had a faith. Okay? And if they were whole, they wouldn't need a physician, man. Which Yahweh Shah is the ultimate physician, boy.
Verse 28. "For which of you, intending to build a tower, sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it?"
Right. Like say you on a construction site and the general contractor, this asshole, he puts in he underbids for the whole site, or he overbids for the whole site. So like he overbids for the whole site, and halfway through the site, we're like, God damn, we ain't got no more money. We ain't got no more money to build the rest of the goddamn building, man. Everybody gonna look at you like, man, you got half a building, and the other half you can see the fucking I-5 and shit.
Or he reads the blueprints wrong.
Yeah. Read the blueprints all fucked up. Now you in the hole like 100 G's already.
Or he floods the top flow.
Go ahead.
Verse 29. "Least happily, after he hath laid the foundation," that's a lot of money too, to lay that foundation.
Yeah. Oh yeah, hell yeah.
"And is not able to finish it, all that behold it began to mock him."
Yeah, you got a foundation, and then you just got like a bunch of framework in sporadic ass places, and then you find out you ain't got enough money to finish, people gonna just be like, it was tripping.
That's a fool, man.
Yeah.
Bad business partner. That's bad business. Who gave this nigga a talent?
Yeah.
Take it away.
You gotta go to the big.
Yeah.
Yep. Verse 30. Well, I'm gonna read it again. Least happily, after he hath laid the foundation and is not able to finish it, all that behold it began to mock him, saying, this man began to build and was not able to finish.
Right, this man was able to build, not able to finish, man. So the point was, though, just counting the cost, man. Counting the cost. Knowing what is required of us when you come into the Rock the second chapter, man. It's always get quoted. We always quote it. Brothers always bring it out and all that, man. Brothers gonna read it right now. You know?
This is Sirach chapter 2, and I'll start at verse 1. It says, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright, and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Cleave unto him, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end.
Right, cleave unto him, cleave unto Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, man. That may be increased at that last end, man. That's another thing. When you first come to the truth, you ain't gonna understand everything, man. I remember when I first came to the truth, first of all, I never read the Bible. I probably read, no, I did, matter of fact, read the Bible once in the world, man. And that was Genesis, the first chapter, man. After that, I closed the book and never read it again. But guess what? The more I endured in the truth, when I came to the truth, the more I started reading, the more I started watching videos and listening to brothers and being around brothers and all that. The spirit just starts sucking with you, man. Yeah,
No, hey, the brother's right. I mean, because I remember I tried to pick up the Bible and read it like a book. You pick it up, I'm like, oh shit, how do you do this? Like,
It doesn't work.
Yeah,
All
it
them
doesn't work.
names, you start reading all them names. He's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
when I got to all them names, I was like, man, I'm good.
information. Oh, yes, information overload.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so am I supposed to remember this? Like, does this come back into play later on? Like, is this like one of those Pulp Fiction, like a who's that? Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, Quentin.
It's like a Quentin Tarantino movie where I it's gonna make sense at the end. Like, I didn't know what I was doing. You know? And then you come to find out, you're like, shit, I'll just start in this random book chapter right here, and then I can go back and you start, actually reading through the Spirit rather than how you were taught by men.
That's right.
You know?
You learn precept upon precept, and it starts clicking, man. Go ahead.
This is Romans chapter 10, verse 17. So then faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of the Most High.
That's right, man. Yep. You say that?
No, just going on what you said.
Yeah.
Like, you start hearing it more and more, that building your faith, and it's true.
Like Pastor Bar said, repetition is the father of skill, man. You know? You gotta have your sisters exercise, man. Exercise. Well, I mean, when you exercising, you're using your body parts, man. You're using your muscles. All right. So I'm applying that spiritually. Your spirit is being exercised, man. The more you endure in the truth. So having your sisters exercise, you begin to grow. You begin to have a more clear understanding, man. You begin to have a more balanced spirit. Okay. You learn how to be in the matrix. All right, but still in the spirit of empower Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, man. Okay. Go ahead.
Going back to Sirach, chapter 2, verse 3. Cleave unto him, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end.
Right.
Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state.
Right. Be patient when thou change to a lower state. That's another thing that people don't want to or guys don't want to deal with, man. Is when you get changed to a lower state, man, and the Lord will bring you dirt low, man. You know. Lord will bring you the Lord will bring you dirt low. Where the only thing you got, the only thing you got is the clothes you got, the clothes you got on your back, and maybe a big ass leaf bag of the rest of your shit. You know, big ass black trash bag of the rest of your shit. That's all you got, man.
On the stick, walking around with it on the stick.
Yeah, you know, the Lord will bring you that low, but He said take that cheerfully and be patient, suffer it, man. You might have to go through like 45 jobs before you end up being stable, man. Shit, brothers do that shit all the time.
For fun.
Yeah. You know? Shit. I had stupid ass jobs, man. Brothers on work crazy ass jobs, man. Dealing with abominable shit and all, man. Go ahead.
Verse 5. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity.
It's like, just think about John the Revelator. You know, it was said that he worked in the salt mines, man. And it's up until old age. Like, fuck, that's equivalent, you know, like a mining job like that. Come on, man, like, that sucks. You could have hit a gas pocket. You don't got no little canary to drop dead before you. Like, you know, you're trying to work with torches. You get a gas pocket, boom. Like, that's over, you know? So, hey, look, man. The Most High is gonna sustain you as long as you need to be sustained to accomplish His work. You know, so that's why Paul was even talking about being content with your daily bread. You know, he said, "Woe is me if I preach not the gospel." You know, that's the mentality you're supposed to have. Like, shit, this is all good. Everything, you know, I got food, you know, clothes, somewhere to lay my head. You know, whatever it is that you have, the Most High is allowing you to have it. So think about that, because He can take it away quick.
Yep. Verse 5. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Believe in Him, and He will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in Him. Ye that fear the Lord, wait for His mercy, and go not aside, lest ye fall.
Right, go not aside, man. Don't fucking just lose your shit because things are getting a little hard, man. You know, you might be broke. All right, you might have hella car problems. You know, employment issues, physical sicknesses and issues, man. Okay, all type of shit, man. But you gotta take that on the chin and just roll with it, man. All right. The scriptures tell you that. The scriptures say, Paul said, he said, who shall separate me from the love of the Most High, man? He said, tribulation, anguish, so on and so forth. All right. You can't let nothing take your crown, man. Like the apostle said, man, nothing is gonna stop the elect from being the elect, man. Go ahead. Oh yeah,
It's Romans chapter 8, verse 35. Who shall separate us from the love of Yahweh Shai? Shall tribulation, or distress, or persecution, or famine, or nakedness?
Or famine. Because I remember listening to a brother, he was talking about the famines that was to come. All right, and he was like, oh, this is the brother Kazak in Mississippi, Elder Kazak in Mississippi. He was saying like the Lord may have it to where you might, because he did a video on fasting. It was an old video. It was just playing through the spirit. He was talking about how the Lord may have it to where you go a couple of days without food and water just to see how you're gonna react, man. You know, which is a heavy thought. When you really think about it, that's a heavy thought. Because if you ever went 2 days without eating or drinking something, man, eyes start turning red and shit, head hurt. You know? You feel yeah. You feel your headache. feel like you about to faint and shit. But you get a little second wind though, man. You know. But like the brother said, you can get the Lord could probably do that just to test your faith, man, to see what manner of metal you are, or if you're a metal at all. It might be wood. You know. Go ahead.
It says, or nakedness, or peril, or sword, as it is written, for thy sake we are killed all the day long. We are counted as sheep for the slaughter.
Right, or a sword. Like we was talking about, what if Esau busts in, busts in the door? Hey, we think about that shit a lot, man. Down there every night I go to sleep, I be thinking about that. Like, I'm going to sleep, man. These niggas going, I be putting clothes on and shit. Sometimes you be like, man, I don't give a fuck. But majority of the time, I be like, man, I'm gonna throw some shorts on and maybe a little shirt. You know what I'm saying? Just in case these demons come in here, dogs and all that.
Put something in front of those.
Yeah. But that's a frequent thought that brothers be having, man. We think about the day of destruction and calamity, martial law, damn near 24/7, man. Okay? But guess what? We don't let that shit bug us out, man. Because like we was talking about, the longer you endure, the more balanced you become in the spirit, man. You don't just focus in on one particular aspect of the scriptures, man. You focus on the good and the bad. The happy, the sad, the ups, downs, the kingdom, the hell, the bitter and the sweet, man. The whole road. Okay? Go ahead.
Yeah, hey, before you can get to the sweet, you gotta go through the bitter, man.
That's right. That's right, man. We in the bitter right now, man. America. Babylon. America means bitter, man. Babylon means confusion, man. Okay? So we going through the bitter right now, man. Even if you don't want to accept it in the truth, you still gonna be going through bitter ass, you still an Israelite in America, man, in captivity, under curses, man. So you just now that you ain't got the protection of the Lord on you, man. The scriptures say, Psalms 34:7, the angels encampeth about them that fear the Lord, man. Okay? So if you don't fear the Lord, you ain't got the angels protecting you, man. Okay? Like when was it Elisha and Elijah? And there was men getting ready to attack. It was in First King, not First King, I think it's Second King, beginning of Second King. And he told, he told him that, hey, don't worry about it. He opened his eyes and he seen all the angels that was behind him, man. Okay. Oh, okay, go ahead.
Yep. Verse 7. It says, "Ye that fear the Lord, wait for His mercy, and go not aside, lest ye fall. Ye that fear the Lord, believe Him, and your reward shall not fail."
Your reward shall not fail, man. Your reward shall not fail. It's goddamn place, man. Your reward shall not fail. What's the reward, man? Okay, salvation. All right, that's first and foremost, man. Salvation. The kingdom of heaven. This fool had a Michael Jackson Thriller come on. All right, the kingdom of heaven. Being a ruler, a king, a priest, having nations worship you, man. And not only are they worshiping us, the only power that's being worshipped on the planet, all right, is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Okay? Everybody's gonna be worshiping our power. There ain't gonna be no more pollution. There's gonna be no more literally green rivers. Alright? Plastic all in the goddamn ocean, killing all the wildlife, killing all the coral reefs. Man, over 50% of the coral reef is dead, man. Which that holds housing for hella fish. And when those fish start dying, which they have been like a motherfucker, alright, those fish's predators start dying, and those fish's predators start dying, and next thing you know, the circle of life is all fucking dead. which includes who? Humans, man. That's why our Lord said, unless those days be shortened, there shall be no flesh left to be saved, man. Are we not in the flesh? So the Lord got to destroy this goddamn place, man.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Verse 9. Ye that fear the Lord, hope for good and for everlasting joy and mercy. Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him?
Right. When the brother had Hebrews 11, he was reading Hebrews 11 earlier in the earlier chapters, the earlier verses. But when you're reading the latter verses, it gets into the faithfulness that our forefathers had, man. From Abraham, or from Moses to Abraham to Joshua, okay? Jacob. When he got sent to his what would be father-in-law, okay? There was a little journey in between them, man. All right, but he had faith that wherever he was gonna get sent to, he was gonna be good. You know, slept on a rock, wrestled, yeah, wrestled with an angel, man.
Hebrews 11 and 28. It says, Hebrews 11, 28. Through faith he kept the Passover and the sprinkling of blood. I'm talking about Moses. Least he that destroyed the firstborn should touch them.
Right. It took faith. It took faith to sprinkle that blood. Because if you didn't believe that the Lord was gonna jack you up, you wouldn't have did it. All right. If you didn't believe the Lord was gonna, if we didn't believe the Lord was gonna jack us up, we wouldn't hold the Passover. Okay. Go ahead.
Verse 29. By faith they passed through the Red Sea as by dry land, which the Egyptians assaying to do were drowned. By faith the walls of Jericho fell down after they were compassed about 7 days. By faith the harlot Rahab perished not with them that believed not, when she had received the spies with peace.
Right, and the Lord saved her from getting overthrown in Jericho, man. Okay, her and her family. And they said that wall where her house is located, I believe they said to this day it's still there. If not, it was still there very recently, within the past 100 years or so, 200 years, 300 years, something like that. Okay? But yeah, that was the point. Real quick, First Maccabees 2:61.
Right, this is First Maccabees chapter 2, verse 61. And it says, and thus consider ye throughout all ages, that none that put their trust in him shall be overcome.
Right. None that put their trust in him shall be overcome, man. Okay? Meaning what? No matter what the hell brothers go through, no matter what situation you may be placed in, hey, well, the things written aforetime were written for our learning, man. And you start reflecting on the shit that the men of the Lord in the past went through, man. Hey, that boosts your faith, man. That boosts your faith somewhere. It's like, hey, man, I don't give a damn what happened. Hey, the Lord gonna take care of me. I don't give a damn if I'm in the middle of goddamn Antarctica with no goddamn coat. About to dump head first into some water just to avoid some bullshit or something. I'm gonna be good, man. But there's still more on that.
Oh, yeah. Going back. It says, verse 62. It says, fear not then the words of a sinful man, for his glory shall be dung and worms. Today he shall be lifted up, and tomorrow he shall not be found.
Right, man. Just find that to Esau. Like, fear not that sinful man. Forget whatever the hell he gonna do, man. We ain't worried about what Esau gonna do, because we know what Esau gonna do. It's written, man, and he's doing it. We prophesy about it, bro. We prophesying about it from the elder apostles and on down. Go ahead.
Yep. It says, because he is returned into his dust, and his thought is come to nothing. Wherefore, ye, my sons, be valiant, and show yourselves men in the behalf of the law, for by it shall ye obtain glory.
Right. Be valiant, man. Show yourselves men. All right. He said, man up, basically. Same thing the Most High told Job when he was going through all his hell, man. Oh, speaking of diseases, we were talking about diseases earlier. Job had a disease, man. But yeah, he maintained his integrity, man. He didn't curse the Lord. He trusted in the Lord, and guess what? For that, man, he was given manifold of that which he had previous, man. You know? But I think we're gonna switch and rotate. You know? I don't know who's speaking.
Yeah, go ahead, rotate, man.
All right. I was just reading something about the caravan coming from migrants coming from Mexico, man. All right, that's the Northern Kingdom, and they're coming up to Babylon because they trust in this place, man. All right, so if you want to grab Isaiah 30, what is that? Yeah, Isaiah 30. All right, and there's going to be a price to pay for those that trust in Babylon the Great. All right, that willingly want to throw themselves at the cruel mercies of the wicked, man. Which the wicked is Esau, the Edomite. All right. Go ahead.
This is Isaiah 30:1. It says, "Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and they cover with the covering, but not of my spirit."
Yeah. So the spirit that the rebellious Latin tribes is under. It's not of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, it's of this world, it's of Satan. Because while they was caravanning up here a couple days ago, you had so-called Halloween, as well as them celebrating in Mexico the Day of the Dead, man. And that's a spirit that's on that caravan that's coming up to America, man. It's a dead ass spirit. All right, and what lets you know that is in the scripture it says, "Woe unto them, woe unto the rebellious children," and woe means destruction. Okay, woe means destruction. Destruction is coming to all those coming up here, man. You know, if they ain't of the elect, because what did Eagle Face Donald Trump say? He said he's sending 15,000 troops to the border.
Oh yeah, that dude's retarded because the military cost. Someone was breaking it down, the actual military cost for how much it would cost each day to have National Guard or a professional soldier there. And basically the bill was somewhere between like $900 and like $120 million or some shit. You know, I got the article on the WhatsApp, but yeah, it was just like dumb expensive, and that was only for like 2 weeks or something. It was a short amount of time, but it's like, where the fuck are you gonna get that money from? Like, this dude's retarded. You know, the Pentagon, they're not gonna authorize it, they said, you know, because they have other departments or, you know, branches that do that. Not the military has no reason to go down there.
Like ICE or Border Patrol.
Department of Homeland Security, Immigration. Yes, exactly, stuff like that. You know, the Border Patrol itself, like, the problem is all these, all the murderers, the known murderers of America, which are middle class, working, Caucasians,
Minutemen.
Right? These so-called Minutemen. That's actually the real problem and threat, is because that's your everyday average Joe citizen that is going to go and incite these race riots. You know?
Yeah, they was doing stuff on a Minutemen down in Arizona. That was you'd have Issachar that would actually cross the border, and you know, once they get to America, once they cross that border, and they're in the desert, it's a matter of them stumbling into into the town, into the next biggest town, to where they can contact a relative that they know of in that particular state or whatnot. But them being in the wilderness, they was getting shot by Minutemen. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's what Issachar and Zebulon have to look forward to coming to America. Whether it's them getting stopped at the border and shot up, or they even said, Trump even said that he's going to charge throwing rocks as a weapon or
equal to a gun, basically.
Yeah, something like that. So
he said that, and then like his dumbass, he always has to go back and then, oh, you know, I didn't say that. I didn't mean that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's what he said. That's what he tweeted. But yeah, there he goes. There he goes.
Back at it.
What is this guy's problem, man?
He's trying to get it to make it slap himself or some shit.
It's working out. Let's get his workout on.
Hey, but yeah, so you know, Trump said it, and then he had to kind of renege from it. You know, but that's what he does. Double-minded. You know, Trump. You know, he's double-minded. And really, when you look up the word doubt, when you brothers look up the word doubt on Edom Online, it basically goes back to being double-minded, which is a demon. The scripture's talking about being you doubting, and all you guys out there that are doubting yourselves. Whenever you have doubt, oh, I can't do it. You know, you're making excuses and shit. You're being a demon. That's being double-minded, man. You know. Oh, go ahead, that brother got it. Go ahead.
This is century 1200 Doubtin or Dutton, to dread, fear, be afraid, a sense of no absolute, of old French doter, doubt, to be doubtful, be afraid, from Latin dubitare, to doubt, question, hesitate, waver in opinion, related to dubious, uncertain, from duo to with a sense of two minds, undecided between two things.
Woo.
Hot or cold, or right in the fence.
Right. Yep. Wishy-washy, flip-flopper, right in the fence, being lukewarm.
Slothful.
Yep. Slothful. Yep.
Just the last part was dubious, etymologically. That's a hard word. Etymologically, to choose between two things.
Okay. Reading on the latter part of verse 1, Isaiah 30, it says, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, that walk to go down into Egypt.
That walk to go down into Egypt. They're literally walking to go down into Egypt, man. That's prophecy. They literally walk from Central America, man. Could you imagine that? And South. Yeah, I mean, I'm saying, but they started in Honduras, and that's Central America. And they walked through Mexico. If they would have started in Brazil or Venezuela, then that'd be considered from the south. But they started in central Mexico, which is Honduras. You know, imagine walking. You got people that run for like breast cancer or some dumbass shit from go from one state to another here in Babylon, but damn, they coming from a whole nother section of continent. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead.
It says, verse 2, it says, that walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of
they have
Pharaoh.
not asked at my mouth, man. You got brothers that's preaching down there in the Central and South Americas, man. Did they go? Did this caravan go and inquire the men in that caravan? Did they go inquire and what the Bible say about this or that, or should we go do this? Like, you guys know what's going on with you know, geopolitics and whatnot. Is this a good idea? Nope. They didn't. They don't do that. They didn't do that because real quick, read Hosea 4:6. Real quick while you're grabbing that, I'm gonna read this. This is from RT.com. It says migrants who throw rocks will be arrested, not shot. Trump. It says, walking back his previous comments, the U.S. President Donald Trump said that illegal migrants who attack the U.S. military with rocks will be fired upon, but will be detained. Will not be fired upon, but will be detained. So
he said walking back his words, right? Yeah. Remember what Dad called George Bush walking eagle? Because he was so full of shit he couldn't fly?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, eagle face, this guy, right? Orange face, eagle face. He's doubting, he's questioning, he's wavering himself. You know, because first he said that they were going to be shot, you know, basically killed. Now he's like, oh, well, we're just going to detain them. Because what he would be doing, this guy keeps saying shit, not realizing what the fuck he's doing. Mm-hmm. He's making the matters and acts of war. So the same thing with China. Like, he put all these tariffs and things on China. China is now forced to go to war. Mm-hmm. They have no other resource or they have no other plan of action other than to go to war, man. Yeah. You know? So, hey, look, the war is here. It's coming. It's been here. It's just finally getting paperwork, so finally getting signed to make it 100% transparent now. To where, look, we can all see it and read it now. It's like
Trump told reporters on Friday that all of his border enforcement actions are in compliance with existing U.S. laws. He has vowed not to allow the caravans of migrants from El Salvador and Honduras currently making their way north through Mexico from entering the U.S. Any asylum seekers who cross the border illegally will be deported, and those who cross at points of entry will be held in tent cities with their families while they await adjudication rather than be released into the U.S., Trump said on Thursday at the White House.
Hey, but what about the children? Because usually what America does is they keep and they steal the children.
Hey, well, Trump had another thing when they was getting when he back when it was when they was taking the kids from the parents earlier in the year. Well, he had signed an executive order to have the children stay with the parents and whatnot. So
stay with the American parents?
No, stay with their natural born parents.
And they're taking away those dreamers. He's putting a bill in effect to take that away too.
Yeah. Good, fuck him. Yeah. What the hell you need him for?
Good.
Fuck him.
Get some food.
They're non-believers anyway.
Oh, go ahead, bro.
This is Hosea 4:6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. That thou.
So our people, the 2/3, they're rejected by Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Okay? They're rejected. The Lord rejected them because they're destroyed for lack of knowledge, man. The simple knowledge of who they even are, of their heritage, of their name, of their power's name. They're destroyed because they don't understand that. They have no knowledge of that, man. Okay?
That thou should be no priest to me, seeing that thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, and I will forget thy children.
Right. So all those children that's coming up in that caravan, guess what? The Lord, He don't even see them, man. He's gonna allow Esau to have his way. Throw them niggas in. It said that they was gonna be put in tent cities. And guess what's gonna be going on in them tent cities? Bring a whole bunch of chipping. All right, a whole bunch of microchips.
Yeah, don't try to come back here. We'll chip you up.
Yeah.
We're gonna microchip you and see when you come up. You try to take the chip out. Hey, we're just gonna look for the scar and put another one in.
seen today they were trying to take away the natural-born migrants' rights as well. So, like, if your family got here and you were born here,
Dreamers.
oh, that's dreamer.
No. It was. You're talking about the natural. Like if your parents are immigrants and you're born in America, that makes you a U.S. citizen. But Trump is trying to sign an executive order that's going to do away with that. To where even if you are born in this country and your parents are illegals, you gonna be illegal too. Which that's cool. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, who gives a fuck about being an American citizen, man? Right.
You know, it's no privilege.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're yet this day in our captivity and subject to payments, man.
Yeah, this place is gonna be destroyed. Who gives a fuck? You know? Go ahead.
This is back in Isaiah 30, verse in the verse 2. It says, and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt.
To strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh. What's Pharaoh's strength? All right, rape, robbery, murder, lies, deception, thievery, wickedness. All right, what's the only thing that's keeping this place somewhat afloat is people's vain belief in this currency. That's why it's called a fiat currency. Let it be. People simply believing in this currency that really doesn't amount to anything because it's not backed by gold or silver. It's just a debt note just flowing around in circulation. All right, like Trump said about war with China and Russia. He was like, we got more money than anybody. You know, pretty much bragging, oh, we got more money than anybody, we'll be all right. You know, we'll be good. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? Why is that caravan, why is Issachar and Zebulon coming up here? Because they want money to be able to send back down to their family members, man. You know?
Verse 3 says, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt.
Hey, the strength of Pharaoh is gonna be your shame, man. Because when this shit collapses, all right, man, could you imagine that? Imagine the wear and tear that is put on your body from walking from Central America to America. Imagine all the wear and tear, right? You get up here thinking there's hella jobs, right?
It's like Washington County.
Yeah. Imagine that, man. And then once you get there, the society collapses. First and foremost, you get thrown in a concentration camp, separated from your people or whatever, chipped up, and then the economy collapses, man. Look at this guy. You know, go ahead. You know, it says, read that last part again.
It says, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion.
Yeah, the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion, because there ain't no light in this place outside the man of the Lord. Their purpose of coming here is not a so-called religious voyage, or should I say a pilgrimage, a religious pilgrimage, you know, like you got them demons, the Muslim demons that travel to Mecca on a so-called religious pilgrimage. All right, they're coming here, the Latin tribes is coming here for like I said, them Federal Reserve notes, man. Okay?
Verse 4 says, for his princes were at Zoan.
That's go ahead with the article.
I had a quick pre as well.
Yeah.
This is First Maccabees, verse 14. Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem, according to the custom of the heathens, and made themselves uncircumcised and forsook the holy covenant. God, this is
the large covenant.
That's right.
First Maccabees 1:14, whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the custom of the heathen, and made themselves uncircumcised, and forsook the holy covenant, and joined themselves to the heathen, and were sold to do mischief.
Right. Sold to do mischief. That's Jake, man. Jake is sold to do mischief. Willingly just go along with the flow of what Esau has pumped out, you know, via the media, via these movies, via doing certain trade and you know, economic deals with certain countries. Like I remember you were saying a couple weeks ago how those certain companies down there in like the government of Mexico or something like that was saying that they were better off not even doing business with the U.S. because now like they ain't making no profit or something like that. I can't remember. I believe it was you that had said it. We was at camp. But that anywhere the U.S. goes, these companies that go to another country and start up business for the purposes of not having to pay them Social Security and insurance and all that.
Yeah. Cheap labor.
They think those countries say, oh, that's a good idea, but they ultimately realize, like, damn, like that was retarded. Like, yeah, that was retarded. That nigga was biting on something. I think he was biting on frisbee or some shit. He's trying to eat that thing. Yeah.
Now another thing is that's exactly what's gonna happen to that caravan. If they was integrated into this system, all they gonna do is turn into Esau, man. Be at the job site talking homosexual jokes and shit, cooning, looking at you all evil because you're there at the job site with them, and they want the jobs for their family that's coming up here, not you. Yeah, that's all they gonna do is turn into to the wicked, man.
Yeah, this is called hard-headed. Oh man, it's crazy as much as you like for us being men of the Lord, we see Issachar, you know, in our mind it's like, oh man, that's our brother. You know what I'm saying? And you naturally wanna have like a brotherly kind of like you know, but with the understanding of like I'm in the truth, this motherfucker's in the rail, but still live peaceably with all men and you know, and who knows if this guy might wake up and you know, because Issachar got that stereotype about so-called Negroes about Judah.
They lazy, don't work.
But even when you try and show them love, man, they still shit on you, man. They still shit on you. Those motherfuckers be.
Man, they be the laziest motherfuckers, honestly.
Hell yeah.
They just look busy.
They do shitty work.
Shitty work.
Bro, they be doing a bunch of nothing, fucking shit up, but they be looking like they doing something. So to the naked eye, you're like, oh, he's doing work. Man, come here, man. Stop that shit, man. You fucking up everything. Just stop moving, man. Just leave it alone.
Hey, yeah, their shitty work. Their work is shitty. I was doing a little bit of work with an Issacharite this past week, and yeah, man, you see it firsthand, man. Like, yeah, you fast, but the quality is like, man, I'd rather do this shit myself. It might take longer, but it's gonna be done right.
Yeah, bro. I saw this video of this Issacharite. He was putting up mudding on a brick building, you know, the mortar shit.
Yeah.
And he was grabbing it, and he was he was good at tossing it up on the thing, right? So he's grabbing it and doop, toss, oop, right? So in like less than 2 minutes, he had a whole wall, like this whole wall was covered. But there was like 2 or 3 outlets that were cut up. So they had the saw, and you can see the saw marks, and they got the wire in there. This motherfucker, bro, had mud all in the electrical sockets and shit, where the wires tucked in and folded. And I was like, man, if that was mine, I'd be pissed. You know,
you gotta get that shit out before it dries. First and foremost, that shit dries fast.
You're supposed to, cover that shit up for the sake of speed. For his blue tape it. You know, that's why his shit was marked. And that's the other thing that these guys do on these job sites is they don't even have camaraderie amongst themselves for the same, for the same shit. They just talk shit. Oh, the plumber's this, the electrician's that. you know, the carpenters, the floor guys, this, and it's like they just piss all over each other all fucking day.
Right.
And so it's like there's no harmony.
No.
You know?
But you guys are a brotherhood.
Right, but you're a brotherhood. That's a fake ass shit, man.
Meanwhile, these motherfuckers is racist as fuck. You know what I'm saying? It's a brotherhood. There's a whole bunch of racist demons on a fucking job site. Like a den of thieves. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, more like a den of thieves than a brotherhood.
It's like Black Wives Club and shit.
You want to bring out this article? Mass migration. This is RT. Mass migration brought down the Roman Empire. Can it bring down America, or the American Empire? The migrant caravan heading north to the U.S. from Central America is further evidence that the old world is dying and the new struggles to be born. There is much the ancient world can teach us. There is much the ancient world can teach us.
Hey, real quick, grab Romans 15:4.
And one of its most salient lessons is the mass migration. The product of conflict, societal collapse, and extreme poverty is capable of destroying the most powerful of empires.
And that's all prophesied to happen to this place, man. Famine. This place collapse on every level, economically, financially, spiritually, physically, structurally, morally. All right. Let's just go to read this real quick.
This is Romans 15:4. It says, "For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through the patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope."
Yeah, so whatever things were written aforetime were written for our learning. We can read in the scriptures accounts of certain kingdoms that fell within a certain amount of time. Just like ancient Egypt, the Lord said, you know, that we go into captivity 400 years. We was there 430 years. Now, if you was sitting in calculating, say you was in a generation of when you were born and you was, you know, you became a grown man during the time of our captivity in ancient Egypt, and you was like, okay, we've been here 398 years. So 2 more years, hey y'all, we about to be about this motherfucker. Well, guess what? The Lord had it where they was there 430 years. So you would have another 32 years to go. You know, but that's why the scriptures say, like these dudes with this prophecy of 400 years, man. Hey, no man knoweth the day nor hour. That's why it said, through patience and faith of the scriptures, we might have hope. Yeah, we wish to get out of here last year, this year. It'd been nice if the Apostle Tahar would through the Spirit, named 2018 the year of deliverance. But guess what? Through the Spirit, that's not what the Lord wanted. He wanted this to be the year of prophecy. Okay? Well, guess what? We know that according to Romans, that we have to have faith and hope. All right? With the understanding of the things that were written aforetime were written for our learning, and the things, like I said, some of the things written aforetime was different captivities and you know, how they went down. Okay? Yeah.
Dilly.
Who said dilly?
Just to skip down to this. In truth, Rome's demise had been a long time coming. The contradictions of an empire run on the basis
it said Rome's demise had been a long time coming. Yeah. All right. The Most High's got it to where this place is America, Babylon the Great's demise has been a long time coming. Go ahead to what the scripture says.
In truth, Rome's demise had been a long time coming. The contradictions of an empire run on the basis of slavery.
The contradictions of an empire. This place is nothing but a big ass contradiction, man. America.
Basically slavery. That's exactly how Rome used to operate. They got their funds and their money by conquering another nation, and that's how they kept their shit going. By conquering. That's it. And once they stopped conquering, then they had no more money coming in. Right. And now all these other nations that they made citizens, now they got too many mouths to feed. And then what happened? They slowly start crumbling, inside out.
From the outside in,
From the inside out, it just crumbled, man. And then these other nations that they brought to be amongst them, they started getting rich. And they started assuming the power that Rome was losing. And that's how these so-called Negroes got into power, man. The Holy Roman Empire.
This is kind of talking about that because this is Constantinople.
Yep, that's
it. There's a part, we just started reading this last one, the second that you started reading.
In truth, Rome's demise had been a long time coming, and the contradictions of an empire run on the on the basis of slavery.
Yeah, on the basis of slavery. This place was founded on slavery, free slave labor. Okay, so it's an admission that judgment was a long time coming. And likewise, America's judgment is a long time coming, and when that happens, this is what us men of the Lord, Abaratazar, is going to say.
This is Revelation 18 and 17. For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster in all the company and ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea, stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city?
Yeah, what city is like unto Babylon the Great, man? All right. What city? What country is like America? You know, they invented Coca-Cola, and Pepsi, Taco Bell, and Church's Chicken. You know, the light bulb, and Starbucks, and Ford. That's the spirit.
Reading on, verse 19 says, and they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, that great city wherein were made rich, all that had ships in the sea by reason of the costliness. For in 1 hour is she made desolate. Rejoice over her.
Yeah, that's the point. So when this place gets destroyed, just like the ancient Roman Empire did, hey, you better believe there was Jakes that was rejoicing that them damn Edomite emperors had been done away with. All right, that's why it was called the Holy Roman Empire, because you had Jakes ruling. All right, so however, this time it's only going to be the elect that's going to rejoice. Okay? The men of the Lord that's going to rejoice. Right. Through the spirit and power, Yahweh Shem Yahushua B'Shem Rakakadash.
That's right. That's right. Verse 20, it says, rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets.
Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and holy, what it say?
You holy apostles and
prophets. All right? The apostles of Greatmillstone. All right, the prophets of Greatmillstone, and whoever else might not be known by Greatmillstone, but preach the correct doctrine, the doctrine of Yahushua. Right. That's a part of Yahushua's body. That's who's going to rejoice when this place gets destroyed, man.
That's right.
not them damn dumbass Mexicans and Central Americans putting bunions on their feet, coming up here hoping to partake in a Trump juice, okay? We're willingly bringing themselves into captivity. And just like during the time of ancient Egypt, when that famine came, the 7 years of not plenty, but the 7 years of few. Once that happened, during that famine, you had people that was coming in willingly putting themselves in slavery. You know what I'm saying?
So they sold their fields and themselves into slavery, so that they had to give a portion every harvest had to give a portion of it, of their yield. Yep. Listen, verse 20 says, rejoice over her, thou heaven, ye holy apostles and prophets, for Yahweh have avenged you on her.
Yeah, for the Lord have revenged you on her. All right, so the shit that Esau has done to our nation, guess what? The Lord is going to recompense this place for that. All right, and since Esau, the so-called white man, the devil, since he touched the apple of the Lord's eye, which is Israel, the Lord is going to smoke this place, man. Right. The Lord is going to smoke this place with thermonuclear destruction, man. All right, that's why all these superpowers, Russia, China, America, they're all updating their war plans. All right, what they call that? Their
modus operandi.
Modus operandi. But their war plans, pretty much. They're all updating articles of war. Their war policies. Okay, war tactics. Doing all these war games. All right.
Verse 21. And the mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall the great city Babylon be thrown down and shall be found no more at all.
Right. So the sea is talking about this place we're currently standing on. All right. And that great millstone that millstone is referring to a thermonuclear missile. All right, the thermonuclear missiles that's going to destroy this place, man. And this place will be found no more at all. All right, the sea represents the people. When you go into the sea, it ain't one type of fish in the sea. You got all kind of creatures in the sea, man. All right, guess what? What do you have in America? All different types of people, all different races of people. Okay. Even though, just like in the ocean, in the sea, you got all this different type of life down there, but it's still segregated. It's segregation. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Dolphins roll the dolphins.
Yeah. Here in America, you got all these damn people, but guess what? It's still segregated. A sea of people. All right. So all these people that's first and foremost heathens, and the wicked of our people is all gonna be destroyed with fire, man.
That's right.
But that was a point on that.
I think that was a point because it's starting to go. I just finish this off real quick. Can I read this real quick? Real quick, I got a precept. This is Hosea 9:13, or 9:13. It says, Ephraim, as I saw Tyrus, is planted in a pleasant place, but Ephraim shall bring forth his children to the murder.
Yeah, Ephraim being the so-called Puerto Ricans as the head of the kingdom of Israel, but that consists of all the Latin tribes. Ephraim is synonymous with the northern kingdom, representing the Latin tribes. Okay. Now, even though like dealing with Ephraim himself, Puerto Rico is a pleasant place, but there's more Puerto Ricans in New York City than there is in Puerto Rico itself. Yeah. All right, why? Because he brought his children to the murderer. All right, the Latin tribes in that caravan coming up here to the Americas, what are they doing? They're bringing. You mean to tell me there's not one Latin tribe that don't know that the little Latin tribe kids is getting microchipped when they get up to the Americas?
I don't know.
To have some kind of knowledge of that, or to have heard about that and still bring your children up here, is you literally bringing your children to the murderer, man. You know?
In truth, Rome's demise had been a long time coming, and the contradictions of an empire run on the basis of slavery, tribute, and plunder were so great, it was inevitable that they would become insurmountable. Under Rome's rule, millions lived in poverty and squalor, supporting an elite.
Yeah, millions lived in poverty. Look at America has a hegemony, right? Which is they control the whole world, man. And because of Esau controlling the whole world, you got other countries that's in poverty. Solely because they took grab that what's that Obadiah they that ate thy bread. Okay, because they've all eaten Esau's bread, and now they're all fucked up. They're all in debt. They're obese. These nations is becoming obese. All right. When you look at the Edomite in Europe compared to the Edomite here in America, these people is considered severely obese compared to their Edomite counterparts over in Europe. But the Edomites in Europe are starting to become more obese because American fast food companies is starting to be prevalent over there, man. Okay. So the whole world is suffering at the hands of the devil here in America.
Right.
Go ahead.
This is Obadiah, verse 7. It says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border.
Yeah. That made a league with Esau. That do these deals and depend on Esau for certain aid and certain monies at the hands of their natural resources. They're slave labor. Okay.
It says, the men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee.
Yeah, so the men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. So all these nations that at one point in time was cool with America, like back when I believe Obama was still in office. Remember when Xi Jinping, the fucking president of China, had came and visited Boeing up here in Washington like a year or two ago, about 2 years ago. Yeah, that was considered being at peace.
Yep.
Hey, they ain't like that no more. You know?
Yeah, now they're going to war.
Yeah. Going to war, man.
Reading on, it says,
Hey, but then that's another thing, because China has a president. They used to have dynasties. They used to have emperors.
Yep.
And now they don't even, the emperor doesn't rule no more. You know, it's the president. So, you know, everyone that's been eating drinking the Babylon juice and eating the Babylon bread is finding out that this wearing a suit and tie, a power suit every day, isn't the right way that this world is working. You know, it's not working the way things used to in the past. There's so many things done that have been done in the ancient world that with modern technology they can't replicate today. And so they'll say, oh, well, it must be aliens. When the scriptures tell you, look how much more weaker men shall get through age. So the further we get, what they call progress is really decreasing. They're degenerating. But people see technology as a way of progression rather than what it really is, which is enabling people to be dumber and dumber by the day. Because now you rely on these robots and these machines, these microchips, these boards, these circuit boards and silicone blocks to do your work for you, man. And we're talking to the brothers about that, you know. We got these phones and you can do a lot with them and have a lot of information stored on them. But what happens when you lose your phone? Oh, my whole life was in that phone. And then some people are like, oh, well, it's okay, I got it backed up to the cloud. Well, what happens when the cloud goes down? That's where they got that saying, the faintest ink is better than the strongest mind. If I write something down today in pen, that's better. My memory can fail, and that ink can fade just a little bit, but I can still read the ink better than I can remember my own memory.
Hey, smartphones create dumb people.
Yep, that's
you know, all these people back before we had cell phones and all that. We was brothers. I used to remember phone numbers like a motherfucker, man. A bit you'll pull up on something, you know what I'm saying, and get the 7 digits. And remember that shit like a mug, man. You know what I'm saying? back in the days, it used to be like you get a pen. Hey, we used to carry a pen around with us.
Yeah, pen and paper.
Yeah,
Write it on the gum.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And but yeah, like
that's what receipts were for.
Yeah.
That's what receipts.
In your pocket.
Hey, did you see the receipt? Did you see the receipt?
Yeah. Can't lose that number. I put a number on it.
Yeah. Writing on your money. Writing on your money and shit. Hey, you end up spending it. If you forgot a pen or whatever, you met some chick, she was digging you, and like, yo, you know, you back here, let me get that number. And neither one of y'all got shit to write it down with. She would be like, okay, well, what is it? And you'll literally remember that. Because it's like, I want that.
Running trying to find a pen somewhere.
Write this shit down.
876.
Yeah.
876. Don't talk.
Hey, you tell the homie, hey, remember these first three? Hey, man, you remember this? Yeah. Hey, man, it ain't like that no more, man.
That shit was fun.
Yeah.
You know, growing up without technology was fun, man.
Yeah, it was, man.
Remembering the address, your parents' address, your parents used to, what's your address? You used to recite it. It's not like that no more, man.
Right now, you need GPS to go a mile down the road.
Hey, we were just talking last night in the car, man. I be forgetting I just now kind of remembered our address, man. It's a damn shame,
Or keep on it. It says, I'm gonna start from the top. This is Obadiah verse 7. It says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat.
Hey, America's not going to become great again. These nations is going to be victorious, or I wouldn't necessarily say victorious, but they're going to prevail against Esau. All right, there's a thought that came to mind. It slipped my mind. Go ahead.
It says, they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him.
Yeah, you can look at and observe the shit that Trump says, and see that there ain't no understanding in this damn hybrid human. You know, there's no understanding in that guy, man. Okay. If you didn't have anything else, go jump back to Isaiah 30.
I got something real quick. It's a precept to that one. This is Revelation 17 and 16. It says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore.
Yeah, the beast, NATO, and the 10 horns going into the EU, like the Apostle Tahar mentioned, that the revived Roman Empire consists of two entities, so to say, being NATO, the beast, and the 10 horns being the EU. To get collectively, they make the revived Roman Empire, man. All right, and America is that whore that they're gonna hate. So those 10 horns that's on the beast, because they work, the 10 horns being the EU work economically. Economically, that's Europe's economic establishment, or the way they conduct business over there. The EU. All right, which NATO, that's their military. That's the Europeans' military strength. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
All right. It says, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire.
Yeah, because when you can set somebody on fire, and the first thing that's gonna go is their clothes. If you drench somebody in gasoline and set fire to their ass, their clothes is gonna burn onto them, and then it's gonna become one. Everything is just gonna become one blob of like the scripture said, dust and smell of smoke. The second Ezra.
Yeah, a case in point, people that work with a lot of electricity, they have to wear like 100% cotton clothing, even their underwear, their garments, their undergarments, because what happens when you get shocked with high velocity, with that high velocity electricity, with the high voltage, what happens is it'll stick to your skin, and so they can't, you know, take the fabric off and get an infection. They have to start cutting away, you know, basically it's got to start peeling you. They have to start skinning you alive.
Skinning you alive, yeah.
So when they wear, you know, the 100% cotton stuff, what happens is it's meant to burn without sticking to your body.
It disintegrates.
Right, and that's like the racetrack suits.
Yeah.
You know,
or like if you ever burn a spider's web, how it just.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how that shit do.
So it's designed. See, things are made to be destroyed. We have things that are purposely designed to be fucked up, right? Like a roll cage is designed to protect you in case of an accident. So you make it knowing that it's going to get hurt at some point. Yeah. But that's what it's doing. It's doing its job. A rim on a car is designed to absorb the impact. So when you see someone in the rims like bent in, it's like, oh shit, yeah, the thing's done. Even though it's just a small thing, it's like you don't want to keep driving on it. It did its job by absorbing the impact. Now it's fucked. Get a new rim. Yeah. Don't drive on that fucked up rim. Yeah. It's not safe, you know. So same things. Yeah, the Most High. So like the Most High has made things. Okay, created the waster to destroy. Man. He created these things to be built up to have an adversary to destroy it, like Egypt. Egypt, he built it up just to fuck it up. That's right. You go to the beach, you build a sandcastle just to kick it down, man. It's the same concept.
This is Jeremiah 50:12. It says, "Your mother shall be sore confounded."
Yeah, that's talking about Great Britain, which is the mother of America, because America was spawned from Britain, from Great Britain.
She that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land in a desert.
Yeah, that's what's coming to this place, man. Dry land in the desert. It tells you that in Revelation 18. This place is going to be a wilderness, man.
Right. You want to just finish it?
Yeah.
Under Rome's rule, millions lived under poverty and squalor, supporting an elite whose wealth and ostentation was so obscene it became increasingly untenable.
Untenable.
Untenable?
Untenable. Hey, look that up.
Alright. Like a tenant? I don't know if it's referring to like a tenant, like living, like not being able to live there, basically. That what that's big enough.
Yeah, untenable, indefensible, insupportable, unsustainable, unjustifiable, flimsy, weak, shaky.
Alright, read that again. Because that's what America's these rich elites and all that, they ain't gonna be able to keep doing what they're doing and be in the position that they're in, man. The bubble's gonna burst eventually, because all they're doing is blowing into a big ass bubble, putting more and more pressure in there to the point that it's just gonna pop eventually.
It's better. Supporting an elite whose wealth and ostentation was so obscene it became increasingly untenable.
Yeah, increasingly untenable.
Unsupportable. By now, hopefully a measure of drift is being got, and any economic system that operates on the basis of coercion, domination, and hyper-exploitation gives rise to resistance.
Yeah, that's why, as the scriptures say in the Apocrypha, there's going to be uproars amongst the people. Sedition amongst men, like the brother said. All right. Go ahead.
This in turn leads to more force being deployed to maintain it, which only succeeds in catalyzing any more resistance and within destabilization. It is this destabilization that produces the mass movement of people and peoples.
Yeah. All right. So that's why you have what's going on with the Northern Kingdom about to get they ass whooped when they just reward by trying to seek the king of Babylon. Mm-hmm. All right. So with that, we're gonna wrap it up. We want to give our praises once again to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem, Rakah, Wadash. Double honor to the apostles, the elders, great millstone, to you brothers preaching the word sincerely and truly. Shalom to y'all. Until next time, shalom.
Yeah, go.
Milkshake.